link.
Do we like the Nets tonight?
Nets with Big Blake.
Not -9
do you
against
like,
the Wizards.
Do you like Karis LeVert winning tonight, Andy?
So
or dropping on the court?
Karis LeVert's on the Pacers.
We're
I
live.
know.
We're live.
Oh.
No, just
Never mind.
No, I'm just giving you the heads up. Just so you guys are now aware we are live.
What's going on?
No one's here.
Emmett Matthews from 3. Oh, that's big. He sucks, but he missed that. Oh, we don't like that though. We don't want him to heat it up.
Okay.
Is that Quincy? What was that?
Razorbacks. Fuck. Turnover. JG3's been grabbing some boards today, Frank, honestly.
Yeah, probably had 3 or 4 boards.
Oh, Buddy again.
Wide open.
Buddy again!
Bang! Let's go.
This is what we're gonna look like when everyone.
Yeah. Do you think they'll want my singing? Do you want me to play this, by the way?
Don't let McNeil get out.
Or like play it until it like is a picture?
Grab that.
Hey, come on, let's grab that JG3.
You don't have to have it moving.
Push.
Yeah,
Hit that.
Come on, buddy.
Oh.
You started celebrating.
Dude, that's good. I would have had to change my pants.
It looked good. It looked, Matt, you had to say it looked good if you looked up. I don't know if you were looking. Bad pass going the other way.
I turned off.
All right, so the link's
How
up.
the fuck did I get into airplane mode? I was fucked up last night and just switched my laptop into Wi-Fi mode. Airplane mode.
Somebody's in, but I think we're just gonna mute the audio until a few more people get here.
Too hot to come down right now. Yeah. So please don't call me out when I'm faded. Yeah. But you can't judge me right now. Baby, I'm way too fucked up to explain it.
Who you think you are coming in this place trying to mess my buzz up? Say you want space, but it ain't the place to bring that shit up. Too hard to come down right now. So don't you call me out when I'm faded.
Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Cause I'm all one and I can't feel my feet on the ground. Cause I'm all one and I just wanna stay up here right now. Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Cause I'm all one and I can't feel my feet on the ground. Cause I'm all one and I just wanna stay up here right now. I'm on one, I just want to stay up here right now.
It's out of all the games that you done put me through. You keep calling me saying what I do to you. Girl, you all something to say. Oh, what a shame. Used to have me in your corner, won't never again. Now I keep on what you saying, cause I'm too faded off that cushion. You've been going through some things, and that ain't even good luck. So I'm on my high, I'm getting faded tonight. I need a light. You see the vibe.
Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Cause I'm all one and I can't feel my feet all around. Cause I'm all one and I just want to stay up here right now. High, baby. High, baby. High, baby. I'm all one and I just want to stay up here right now.
Why you want problems, baby? Why can't you just let me be? Why you all turned up every time now when it comes to me? Why you all bothered by the things you think or what you see? I'm too high, yeah, you picked a bad time.
Cause I'm up right now, way up in the clouds. You're the only one making waves. You're saying that I'm so far gone, but I keep holding on. You just want me to beg you to stay. Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Don't kill my high, don't kill my high, baby. Cause I'm on one, I can't feel my feet on the ground. Cause I'm on one, I just wanna stay up here right now. High, baby. High, baby. I'm on one, I just wanna stay up here right now.
Oh shit, you live in the canyon. How big is your mansion? Yeah. Fresh out of school, now you working and focus on fashion. Pretty girl and you let go. Got time, but you got goals. Hey baby, waste your time with me in California. Hey baby, waste your time with me in California. La 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 la, yeah, I met her at a 1-0. La 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 la, now we at the same house party. La 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 la, if you wanna waste time, baby, waste your time with me in California. Hey baby, waste your time with me in California. Oh shit, you born in the Hamptons, I heard that's expensive.
What's going on, Pickball Nation? Matt Taylor alongside Danny Siv, Andrew Knoll, and Frank Petrillo.
Hey, now what's going on?
How
We're
we doing?
currently watching Syracuse and West Virginia
Let's go Orange.
on one screen. And currently, like we said, Syracuse jumps out to an early lead in this one and has been pretty much in control the entire game. I'm going to give the floor to Andy here to open up the cast here. Big Syracuse guys, both these guys here, but break down what's going on in the Cuse game. And again, welcome to the Pickball.
I mean, Syracuse looked good so far. It actually hasn't been the Buddy Boeheim show as expected. He's hit a couple threes to start off the half here, but he only had 3 points at halftime, and we were up 6. We got off to a big lead early. We've still been doing pretty good. The zone's been doing well. Big fourth foul, though, on Merak Dolajai. Just happened before. Not this play, the play before. You missed it. You were on your phone, Frank. You were tweeting out about our stream for our followers on Twitter so that they can check out the stream and come watch us and talk some sports, some Qs, some Arkansas, Texas Tech, West Virginia, whatever team you're a fan of, or just betting. So Syracuse looks pretty good, though, so I'm happy with what I've seen so far. Everyone's shooting pretty well. Joe Girard's been very surprising. He's kind of sucked all year, and he's having a very good performance today, so it's been enjoyable. Buddy's getting a little hot, too, so we love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I would say Joe Girard, I absolutely trash-talked him the other day, but he's definitely shown up this game, and I think it's good for Syracuse because at first I really thought only Buddy Boeheim was the one who could even score on this team, but this is probably the best situation for Syracuse because now I was always worried about one team shuts down Buddy Boeheim, you're fine. Which not that they shut him down, but obviously they're scoring all over the court. It looks good for you guys. I honestly from the start I thought you guys would win the game. I hope for the most part you do because again I think it is fun that Syracuse is still in it. You guys are into it. It makes things obviously wild, but I would have taken Syracuse with the points because I know if I took the money line I would have jinxed you guys completely. So you can thank me after the game. But yeah, I think Syracuse got this one probably.
Well, one thing I want to say here as Robin on the broadcast, pretty much the pick vault's been spot on as it pertains to spreads. We're 2-0 so far on the day. We took Loyola Chicago plus 7 points. They won the game outright. So let's go there. I'm going to go again to Frank here. Frank, talk about what Loyola Chicago was able to do today. And obviously, Sister Jean, happy to see her team move on. But, talk about what she was able to do and what they were able to do in this tournament.
Yeah, so I mean, I will say personally it was a brutal game. I thought that there was a lot of value in the money line, especially when they went down. Obviously, that's not how it turned out, but I think it comes down to the defense. They did a great job of trapping Ayo at the top, and I think he had 8 or 9 turnovers. I think it was around that number, but they really put a lot of pressure on the ball defensively, and offensively they ran a really solid motion offense to the point where Illinois is a team that plays strictly man, and they were almost in a way refusing to switch. And if you run, a triple handoff, I mean, you're going to get a guy that's going to be open. So they got a lot of paint action. And again, Krutwig was absolutely amazing. I mean, he's an incredible player. And I think that he showed everybody that today.
Absolutely. I mean, I was very surprised to see they were even in the ball game at all. I mean, even though the pick ball came out, like I said, giving Loyola
Definitely
Chicago with the
nerve-wracking.
points. I was interested because a lot of people were even picking Illinois, obviously a number one seed in the tournament, but a lot of people picked Illinois to win the whole thing. I actually had them going to my Final Four, so that's a big loss in my bracket. I know it's a big loss in pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of
A lot
people's
of
brackets.
people,
Probably
basically
everyone's.
everybody.
If anyone was still alive, now they probably aren't alive because I would say that was the last team. But to be honest with you, as much as people are saying it was an upset, to me, if you didn't know anything about their past, you go into this game and Loyola Chicago, that wasn't an upset. That was just a better basketball team today. And it's funny because I know we talked about it earlier. Kurtwig, when he was a freshman, he was on the team that made that run. And to be honest with you, this team is actually, I think, better than that team, talent-wise at least. They were that Cinderella story. No one knew who they were. They're definitely proving it today. So I think for the most part, as much as it was an upset, last night was an upset. Abilene Christian over Texas, that was an upset. So I don't know. We'll see.
Again, Texas was another team I had going to my Elite Eight, another team that I had going deep in the tournament. So this year has just been more so than usual. Even though this tournament normally has upsets, again, it's March Madness for a reason. I mean, it's one of the most interesting times of the year for any sports fan. This year's been even like more upsets than usual. There's been more upsets across the board, and obviously we see a number one seed go down today, the first number one to go down. Obviously there'll be at least two more to go. But you're talking about watching this tournament, and no one's safe. Currently, a 3 seed's losing on one screen. We got a 3 seed losing on the other screen. All the high seeds and a 3 seed in Texas lost yesterday as well. All the high seeds are eliminating slowly and slowly, and it makes this whole tournament fun because you think about how much publicity a school like Abilene Christian got last night. I mean, they were trending on Twitter. They were trending on
The bench was
Google
crazy.
searches.
Horns
I mean,
down.
all I'm going to say is that's amazing for the school, and that's
That's
all
a
because of the
murder.
basketball team and all from everything they've been able to do.
And to be honest with you, I feel like this whole Shaka Smart thing, it's funny. I know we always talk about it. Shaka Smart, for really the reason, and Matt mentioned it earlier, the reason he really got that job at Texas is because what he did at VCU with the team, what they did in March Madness. And now he's 0-3 as a Texas coach in March Madness. And I think it was a little bit fixed because out of all the matchups, you're telling me Texas has to play in-state Abilene Christian. Like that sounds a little fishy to me, to be completely honest with you. I think that was a
Absolutely.
little bit of an unfortunate matchup for Texas.
Oh, it definitely was, but I think it's interesting that a smaller school from Texas ends up taking down.
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
The big
for
dogs.
sure.
Texas
Absolutely.
University,
Absolutely.
which is
The
a fun
Texas.
story. It's a fun story. So talking about this game here, I'm going to let you guys talk about it again. Both of you guys are Cuse guys. Currently, jumped out to that big. I think it was the biggest lead of the game was 16. I think earlier in the
Maybe
game.
something around that.
Yeah, 14 to 16.
And out of nowhere, now we got a 4-point game in the second half. Do you think they have what it takes to keep this lead? And are we going to see them get a win? And are we going to see Cuse moving on, or are they going home?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that they move on. I think the first half was good. I think the only gripe that I had about it, again, West Virginia was able to come back a little bit at the end of the first half. But I think my issue was the fact that Jim Boeheim, with 3 minutes left, took out Marek Dolezaj, who had 2 fouls, proceeds to put him back in with a minute left. And I understand that offensively he's a good piece for them, but they didn't score. And at that point, they went back in the defensive end. He picks up his 3rd foul with 4 seconds left. I think that's a tough situation. Now, looking at it again, Jesse Edwards just picked up his 4th foul, which, I mean, I think they probably should have looked at. I mean, he caught a fat elbow to the face. But,
Absolutely.
that's, I guess, at this point, not here nor there. But, I mean, I think that I still feel good about it. Again, Buddy Boeheim was, I mean, compared to all standards, really cool in the first half. Hit the first bucket of the game for Syracuse with a 3 and didn't score again. But I think it's important that some of the other guys are showing up. Again, Joseph Girard, I think, had like 12 in the first half, if not more, on 4 threes, 4-5 from 3. But I mean, other guys are showing up, which is good. Again, it's tough that Jesse Edwards is in foul trouble again, because I know they like to be inside and kick it out. But I mean, I kind of like where we're at right now. I think we're down by 4.
We're up by 4.
We're up by 4. Right?
You just spoke that one into existence, I think, there, Frank.
No,
Did you just say that Syracuse is down 4?
Well, I think I was speaking from the perspective of West Virginia, but
No.
I mean, I kind of like where we're at right now. There are some
I do
guys
too.
that
I
are
just think
playing
that
well,
Dolezaj
but
being in foul trouble
Yeah,
is
that's
kind of
gonna be
big right now.
trouble.
Yeah,
That's why we've been kind of in this slouch 7-0 run right now for West Virginia. We were just up 11.
yeah, and it's a difficult spot to put yourself in as well, Andy. Not to cut you off, but again, even seeing it, I looked up and obviously I thought that the call should have gone the other way on Jesse Edwards, but he picks up his 4th. I mean, that's difficult. And the team that typically runs 6-7 guys, we've been in this 8-man rotation, and Dolezaj, obviously one of our starters, has 3. Jesse Edwards has 4. I mean,
Dolezaj has 4.
Dolezaj has 4. Well, right, you said that when I was on my phone. I mean, that's a tough spot to be in. I mean, you could see John Bolajak. Maybe. I mean, you have to get guys.
I like the way you said that. Jean Bolajak.
With 12 minutes left.
You might see just Quincy, Griffin, Buddy, JG3, and Kadari. That might be what you see or Braswell too.
And I like Robert Braswell as well. I talked about that on the episode or the live stream 2 days ago. I do like Robert Braswell a lot.
Probably going to see a lot of him.
No,
I would hope so.
I have a little bit of a Syracuse question, I guess, because to be honest with you, all I know is that Dolezaj I think is he a senior at this point?
Yes.
Like, is Syracuse for the most part I want to say are they young? Like, what's next year looking like? Like, in your guys' eyes, I guess. Like, I know they look good now. Like, are they returning a lot of guys? Like, what's the deal? I guess going forward.
Dolezaj is a senior, and not Quincy. Barama was a senior, but Barama might be coming back because he was hurt. And
so I just want to get a clarification on that one, and not even for Barama's purpose, but going back to what's the rule next year on?
I think any senior
gets an extra year.
Any senior has extra year. Yep.
And does every other player get a year of eligibility? If you're a freshman, do you get one more year? What's the rule on that? I'm trying to figure. I was trying to figure it out.
About that.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure.
Mainly, obviously, you talk about it
Buddy.
with seniors as Buddy hits from 3.
Big shot.
Up by 5, 49-44 with 12 to go. I mean, it is important to note because I think that Syracuse is a team that hypothetically won't lose a lot of guys. I think that Buddy, again, has been really hot, and maybe there's a chance that he has some intrigue going into the NBA. But the only other guy I think that would potentially leave is Quincy, but I think he's cooled off significantly since the first half. So if you look at this team and they're all coming back, I really like this team. Again, with Barama healthy as well, I think that it's very understated that Dolezaj has been playing in the middle of that zone, and that
Buddy again from 3.
That was deep.
The logo.
Right, that was so deep. I almost did
2:44 orange baby with 11:20 left. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. I mean, I trust you cut me off as I hope they keep hitting threes and you cut me off. But I think it's important to note is that if you can have a big guy down low, you can have a guy like Marek Dolezaj on the wing with his length that he has, the athleticism. I think that it's really key. And I think that if this team comes back in full strength for next year, I mean, I really like this team.
Definitely. I mean, that's the sirens right now. They're coming for Buddy Boeheim, to be honest with you. I think that's what the problem is. I got to get one take, too, also. I know a big one later on, Oral Roberts +9. What's the deal with that? You think they're going to cover the spread against Florida tonight?
I do.
Here's my only problem with it. Oral Roberts beats Ohio State. They probably played the best game they probably could have ever played. And they barely won at the buzzer. I just don't. Again, I have actually seen enough of Oral Roberts. And then the other problem I have is that the Big Ten have been frauds. But to be honest with you,
the SEC hasn't been.
I know that. Well, that's why I was going to say too. I was like, Florida is also a team that, they played okay against Virginia Tech. They did what they had to do, but they really didn't play that good of a game. So I don't really know what their ceiling is either. I just feel like, especially in a tournament like this, we see teams getting 7, 8. I mean, they're winning outright by more than that, by 10. I mean, Loyola Chicago today. I mean, you just see all that. So I just don't know what the deal is. I just feel like a spread like that. I agree with you. I'd probably take the 9 or the 10.
I actually have it at 9.5.
9.5.
I think that Florida is a little bit of a fraud team. I took Virginia Tech. I mean, I know I've told you that.
No, yeah.
And you were on. And
it could have gone either way. Like Florida, if Scotty Lewis doesn't hit those free throws at the end of the game, and 9 out of 10 times he probably doesn't, it could go the other way. No,
For Virginia Tech did blow that game a little bit. I think though they were up big and they
let him come back in the game. That's also typical Florida though.
Down. Yeah, exactly.
But again, the other problem with Florida is that if they start getting desperate and just start chucking shots up, if they don't fall, it's over.
Dan, all I got to say to you, sorry to interrupt this part of the conversation, Lightning won.
I know, I saw that. Dude, did you see the box score though?
I just see 5-3.
Check the box score. They just scored an empty net though in the last 5 seconds.
So
which game was that?
The Lightning Panthers. Panthers had 34 shots on goal to their 20-something. BS.
Dan was telling me maybe to live bet the Lightning.
The Panthers. You almost made me look good there, honestly, Andy. I appreciate that.
Well, going back to this other game over here, because we haven't really talked about this game at all, which is Arkansas versus Texas Tech. Currently, Texas Tech with a lead, 27-23, with 6 minutes to go in the first half. But I wanted to go back to the pick ball, Andy. I'm going to give you the floor again. Kind of talk about, because I know you were all over Arkansas in this one, and the pick ball was all over Texas Tech. And you kind of said before, you're like, I think that's the only one the pick ball is going to get wrong today. Like I said, we've been spot on all day long. Kind of dive into what you think is going to go on now that you're seeing the first half almost come to an end here. Give your thoughts.
I see this one as a scrap fest, a grind kind of. Texas Tech is a very gritty, good defensive team, and Arkansas is kind of more. They like to play fast-paced offense and score a lot, not as much defense. But they're going to have to kind of be gritty, kind of get down and play that tough defense, dig themselves out of holes. And it's going to be kind of games of runs, games of flows. I mean, Arkansas is on a little bit of a run now. I'm pretty sure this was 26-20, and now it's 27-27 with about 5:40 left in the first half. So, like I said, I just think this game's going to be nip and tuck. It was about a 3-point spread, 2-point spread, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it moved a lot too.
Yeah,
1,
Texas Tech
2.
got more favorited each time as well. I personally liked Arkansas a lot. In a lot of my brackets, I actually have Arkansas in the Elite Eight, beating Ohio State or losing in the Sweet 16 there. I didn't have Texas Tech advancing once, honestly. I didn't really think they were a team that was that good. I had them beating Utah State. I didn't like Utah State really, but I've seen them play. I think they're kind of
I think they're
they're a little bit overrated. I think
Yeah,
a little bit
I
of a
agree.
fraud team.
definitely. I just feel like
Besides McClung, they don't really have a
Hold
go-to
on,
scorer.
hold on. You said Florida's a fraud team. Now they're a fraud team. How many fraud teams are left?
there are a lot of fraud teams.
There are a lot of teams, honestly. I'm not saying Illinois was a fraud team, but I think
but I guess also anyone
But I think
could be
like
a fraud.
Texas, I think like Texas losing, those teams that went on like the big conference tourney runs are the teams that are losing. Think about it. Ohio State went to the conference championship, lost. Illinois won the conference championship, lost early. Who else were
Georgetown.
Georgia
won
Tech.
champion.
Georgia
They're
Tech gone. There was someone else you just said before that we were just talking about.
I mean, Virginia was going, and then they got
Yeah.
COVID, so you kind of count that in a way.
Yeah,
And to
I
be
mean-
honest with you, so Syracuse losing was great. To be honest with you, a little
Maybe,
bit.
West Virginia lost early too. so
Rest
maybe
wise,
they're
yeah,
gonna
just
come-
rest wise.
They're only down 2 here now with about 10 minutes
Yeah,
left.
I
They're
mean,
on the comeback.
They
So
claw all the way back here. But one of the things that I want to talk about, obviously UNC's an outlier here, but so far in ACC of the teams, they don't have as many teams as some of the other conferences this season. But
Well, they had 7.
yeah, but this season, comparatively to some of the other conferences, you look across the board, you're talking about looking at how well the ACC has performed. We're watching Syracuse here. They made it here. They're looking to play in the Sweet 16. You look across the board, Florida State's playing tomorrow. They're probably going to get a win, in my opinion. They'll move on to the Sweet 16. So from a conference standpoint, when you're looking at it, you got to say some of these conferences, in Andy's words, might be not fraud teams, but fraud conferences.
yeah, I can agree with that. I think the SEC personally is a little overrated.
Big Ten.
I think they're top heavy. I didn't think the Big Ten
That was deep.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
was fraudulent whatsoever, but I just think that they all beat up on each other all year, and I think you see weird teams win, like Wisconsin got through, Rutgers, Maryland, they all won their first games. All the higher seed Big Ten's team kind of went down, so it was weird.
Yeah,
Well, West
definitely.
Virginia clawed all the way back after, like I said, trailing earlier by 16. Clawed all the way back here, now leading the game with 9 minutes, 29 seconds remaining. I said from the beginning, this kid can shoot. This
Yeah, McNeil, that's what I was saying.
He can
McNeil
freaking
can shoot,
shoot.
yeah.
I mean, he's shooting from not only 5 feet beyond the arc, he's shooting from 10, 15 feet beyond. I mean, he's close to half court in some of these shots. It's kind of
They're
ridiculous.
on another 9-0 run.
Yeah,
now.
he's 5 of 8 from 3.
It's kind of like you and them. It's kind of similar though. It's going to obviously basketball is a game of runs, but obviously Syracuse is going to do the same thing going back. Like Syracuse could easily do the same thing and go on a 9-0 run. It's going to go back and forth. I think that 3, the spread was 3 for a reason. I mean, it's gonna be right there. It's gonna go either way.
For sure. I agree with you, Dan. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I kind of always thought that, Matt, that whatever you grabbed that live was great. That was 7.5.
Yeah, no, the 7.5. I mean, we were looking at it all day. Is this line's been shit? I mean, they're just shooting.
I mean, what the?
This
How
is the
was
difference. I mean, this is the only thing I will say. That
Dolezaj's
kids
putting his
can-
hands up.
God.
Yes, these people can shoot. Yes, these kids can shoot from this far out. But that's
Putting
a terrible.
Kadari
That's a
Richmond.
terrible shot. And we see it. Steph Curry do it in the All-Star game. But this is
That's
you're
different.
playing
He
for
hits
a Sweet
it.
16 shot. I mean, that's ridiculous.
No, I mean,
The shot clock was winding down, but
No, I mean
that was a terrible shot.
he's going to be out probably at the next time out. Jim Boeheim is very quick with the hook, but yeah, I mean that's a little ridiculous. Again, Joe Girard, that was his 7th attempt. He was 4 of 6 before that, but I mean, like, come on, man, that was just not a good look.
Well, here we go. Here comes hype Joe Girard. It's
That was
back.
Buddy.
I
That
always
was
talk-
Buddy.
That was Buddy.
I always talk about how you got to prevent runs. We just saw West Virginia go on a run. I didn't see a timeout for by Boeheim.
He only has 2 left for the rest of the game. So
my rule is if it goes on a 9-0 run. 9-0 is the number I always hit when Dan and I are watching. If you string together a few 9-0 runs, you're going to win the ball game. And West Virginia goes on that 9-0 run. You need to see how Syracuse responds. They respond by scoring here. You need to stop. Looks like they might get it, and they foul. Send them to the line.
Speaking of runs, Arkansas is on an 18-6 run right now.
That's a weak call.
Which is crazy.
And going back to the pick ball, Dan, from this morning, here are the pick ball plays once again for everyone out there. I just want to pull them up so everyone can see. Yeah, so this morning, the plays were here. We have Loyola Chicago plus 7.5 in the lower left-hand corner. You see that's the first play of the day was Loyola Chicago plus 7.5. And then we took Baylor minus 6.5. We went 2-0. And now we're watching the game here. Syracuse plus 4. They got out to that early lead. Now we're seeing West Virginia not only claw their way back, they have now tied the game once again, 54-all with 8:20 to go they trail 54-53 with 8:20 to remain in the second half of the ballgame. So anyway, going back to this, so the play for this game is Syracuse plus 4 and Arkansas plus 2. Andy, kind of break down, do you think the pick ball's got it right, and how's the pick ball poised right now in both ball games?
I mean, you want me to give both on Syracuse or just the Arkansas?
Talking about the Arkansas game, and obviously
Arkansas, I think
plus 4
I love plus 2. I got it personally plus 3, so I think plus 2 was a great call. Personally, I think they're gonna come back and take that game. I mean, I know it's tied right now. Dan said they're on a big run. I think they're the more talented team. Buddy Boeheim from 3. No.
Again,
that was wide open.
What is he right now from 3?
Probably like 4 or something.
Oh, okay. I mean, he still's got. It's crazy though. He's still got like 4 threes.
The next question, going back to it, 7:45. We're gonna see Oral Roberts.
That was from deep. From deep.
5 of 10 for 3 from Buddy Boeheim.
Interesting. Well, so Oral Roberts going to play Florida. We saw Oral Roberts obviously take down, again, a high seed in the tournament in Ohio State, the number 2 seed in the tournament, Ohio State. Do you guys think Oral Roberts can mother up another win and get another one done or no?
I mean, talking specifically about the win, I'm really not sure. Again, this is a team that I haven't seen a ton of, but the plus 9 particularly, I really do like that, even if you're willing to buy up another point, if you're looking to parlay it or something. I do like that number. And again, we've seen it that spreads – over the most part have not really been covered outside of the really, really good teams or the big mismatches. So I do like that plus 9 number if you're looking to take that potentially.
Definitely. I mean, the only problem I have, because I'm just looking at this, the line, it opened at minus 7.5. So then it went to 9. My problem with Oral Roberts again is just I don't know if they're frauds or not either, because I know we talk about the Big Ten all the time being frauds. I mean, I mentioned this before. I don't want to repeat myself, but I'll be honest with you. I would never do it because I don't even like laying 3 points. I think laying 9 points is asinine. But for some weird reason, I think I would do it. Today only, though. Because the only other game that the spread, they've obviously the minus 6.5 in Baylor, and we have getting points really everywhere else. So in my opinion, we do have Oral Roberts secondly getting the points, but it's right there. It's right on the nose. I would take Florida maybe by a point. I think they're going to cover it for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's this looks bad.
Yeah, Dolezaj is holding.
Yeah, Marek Dolezaj with a tough take to the rim, and he's grabbing the left ankle.
They cut off
a tough look.
You could look at it as in he has 5, how many fouls already? So
he has 4, but again, a really integral part of the offense.
100%. I'm not gonna take away from that.
It kind of looks like Sal from the Impractical Jokers.
He does a little.
The coach of Texas Tech.
Yeah, no, again, I mean,
Chris Beard.
Chris Beard. Talking a little bit about Dolezaj, though, again, 4 fouls. I mentioned it before that. I think that was really a poor decision to put him back in there, regardless of whether or not how important he is to the offense at the end of the half. I get that you want to be able to shut down the run from West Virginia, but he gets the 3rd, and then he picks up a quick 4th. I mean, he's now playing with a 4th. He's a guy that has been heavily talked about, I guess, by some of the broadcasters, a guy that grew up as a point forward kind of guy in Europe. And again, he has great ball handling skills and is able to drive and really have sort of a hybrid sort of game, a decent mid-range and able to pass very well from the inside. I think this would be a big loss for them. I mean, I think that, hopefully he's all right. And he's obviously a key piece for us. So I hope to see him back out on the court. But I mean, I really hate seeing him pick up that 4th foul after the dumb 3rd.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's going to be tough. I honestly didn't see it. All I saw was him sitting on the ground, and then like Matt said, they cut out. So Whenever
It's never good when they
But-
cut
yeah,
out,
but
but,
so-
again, sometimes
they it's questionable when they
jump the
cut
gun,
out
yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes
you know?
you need to see it. You want to see it.
Like when Kevin Ware's like leg
Yeah.
snapped. I mean,
Well, they showed that.
they-
Oh, no,
that's what I mean. But then they're worried about.
terrible.
They
But
showed that plenty.
But then they're worried about showing like that. Like, I mean, we literally saw a guy's leg snap in half, and you played the replay, like you said, 300 times. So I mean,
Dan,
gotta pick and
after
choose.
watching the Kevin Ware thing, and listen, I was never a big basketball player, like never a huge basketball player, but after seeing the Kevin Ware thing, I swear I was never going to jump for like going for a block because.
Well, you know what's
PTSD,
actually-
even from just like seeing
PTSD.
Yeah.
I wish we could get Dylan this because there is someone that almost had a very similar like occurrence with his leg at
Oh.
Matt's house playing basketball. Andy, were you there for that?
No, I don't even think it was
I
playing
might have
basketball. It was retrieving the basketball where Dill slipped and it was terrible.
It was horrible. I mean, we didn't even know what to do, and then we really couldn't play.
And we couldn't move him, so we had to put him on.
We put him on the wheelie
that was
chair.
bad.
It was bad. It was really bad. But you know, you made your parents leave
He
dinner.
is here. Dill is here. He
Dill,
said,
you
"Hey
there?
now,
Hey now, Dill.
Gonna get a hey
Dill,
now.
call in, Dill. Get on
What's
the
the
line.
number? Can you send it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give the chat.
Because I got some friends that wanna call in too.
Thank you. I'll pull it up.
Every
So-
time I
so-
type it in, I don't know why it like doesn't come up when I type it, or it does, and people just don't look.
So for everyone out there, we are looking for callers, and obviously we'll get some callers live on air right now. But we're looking for people to call in, and we're getting a caller right now. But the number is 1-800-387-6355. One more time, 1-800-387-6355. Our first caller is here.
387 what?
Dill, I believe you're here. Welcome to the Pick Vault for the second day in a row. We're happy you're calling in.
What's up, boys? How's it going?
So
I guess
we
better
doing,
than what's
Dill?
going over there.
I'm gonna start.
I'm fucking depressed over here, dude.
I'm going to start right there because I know yesterday you came on and you talked about Illinois. You talked about how the Illini and your boy Cockburn, how he was going to do. And so, you know, obviously they go down and we see, Sister Jean moving on. So my question your way is, what's the deal with Illinois and what went wrong?
I mean, the Ramblers just got the Sister Jean voodoo going for them, dude. Every year, you know, they just can't lose. And to be honest, I didn't watch much of the game. You know, a lot of problems in the apartment this morning.
What kind of problems?
We lost power to all of the outlets.
Oh my
So
god!
like none of the TVs were nightmare.
On March Madness Sunday. I mean, that's asinine. We lost Wi-Fi
Yeah,
last
yeah.
night. It was
Should've went to
messed up.
Starbucks or something. I
That
could
was
see
wild.
you.
Yeah, I
last
know.
night.
Yeah, that was
When
wild.
When that Wi-Fi cut off.
Frank, you know what's messed up about it? It was literally just that box over there. Like it wasn't even behind the couch.
Oh, so we were out. That was
yeah.
an us problem.
I was just a little, it was a rough night.
I mean,
We were unable to figure
nightmare.
out the simplest problem.
But yeah, Dale, who do you love the rest of the day today? Anyone like who? I mean, I know you had a bad day, but you've been hot. I'll give you that. So I mean, you're due. You're due.
I had Ohio yesterday. I had Iona. They did cover. You know.
Do you think? Or I know you're big into the blow Bob Roberts. Are they going to win tonight, or what's the deal?
I don't think they win, but I think they cover.
Ooh,
I feel like you were a big mean green guy the other day. What do you think about the
Huge
against
mean
Nova?
green guy got him outright.
Really?
I
I
think
like him
I'm-
on the points still. I'm riding with you, brother.
I think I'm going to take him outright.
For sure. I think you should.
Villanova they're just not it. You know,
I agree.
they're playing a good game versus Winthrop, but they're just not it.
I have to ask, were you on Q's today, West Virginia? What was your lean there?
I was on West Virginia today.
So giving you
Very
guys
fair.
the quick check-in here. Currently the score, Syracuse has regained the lead. It's now 60-56, 5:15 remaining here in the second half. West Virginia jumped out to that terrible start as they drained a three and cut the lead now to 1, to a terrible start. And Syracuse took advantage, took a big lead, going up by 16 points in the first half. We see West Virginia claw their way back, tie the game up, took the lead, and now it's a 1-point ball game with under 5. And Buddy Boeheim launches
the
again.
three!
This
Dang,
kid
Del.
shoots more threes and makes more threes
someone's got
He's unconscious, folks.
than anyone I've seen. He reminds me a lot of JJ
He
Redick.
got 22.
He reminds me a lot of JJ Redick for Duke, to be honest with you, from years back.
Matt, me and Frank both did.
He reminds me a lot of Jim.
On the points
No,
that you gave us.
I've never seen Jim before playing in my
He's got
life.
19 right now.
So it was
No,
like
he's
Jim
got
Boeheim was
22 after
sick
that
there.
3.
22.
So-
It's not loaded.
So Dill, I know you're on the line still. I'm going to give you the opportunity to kind of give your pick right now. I know you're live on air. We're putting you on the spot. 63-59, 4:33 remaining. Who are you taking right now if I had a
West
money line
Virginia
play?
ball.
I do think West Virginia comes and edges us out, but you never know with how Buddy's been shooting the ball this tournament. Like, they easily could make another turnaround jumper from 40 feet out and win it for him at the buzzer. So you never know with Buddy and the Orange, but I think West Virginia does pull this one out.
So that would be your take. If Syracuse does win, Buddy Boeheim buzzer beater, everyone's gonna go nuts.
One of the little bullshit turnaround from 40 feet and just throw it up and
Yeah,
go.
For sure.
To tell
That is a Buddy special.
something to tell Jill about, you know.
So Cuse jumps out now to a 6-point lead with under 4 minutes remaining, and now checking it over here in the Texas Tech Arkansas game. Dill, I didn't get your pick on that game, but again, right now we're talking about a very close game, a high seed. The 3 seed, Arkansas, leading 33-31 with under a minute to play in the first half. Kind of a surprising, result as of right now. So, give me your pick for the rest of that game.
I was big on Texas Tech. I think Mac McClung is just too good. I actually have them all the way in my Final Four. Not that really matters anymore because we had Illinois and Texas as well.
In the Final Four.
But I did have them going pretty far.
I mean, honestly, you could stay on as long as you want. I mean, you're killing it. You got Rutgers, Houston. What's your pick? And I know,
Rutgers.
don't give no. I
like Rutgers too.
I want unbiased Dill right now. I want unbiased. I know. I think I think Greg went to Rutgers. I don't want any of that bias in the family. Okay, I'm not asking Greg. I'm asking Dylan.
I gotta be riding with headband highlights, baby.
All right.
Headband highlights.
Headband highlights. Oh no.
All right, Dill, I'm on the spot.
But I do think I haven't watched many Houston games this year, but from what I've seen, they haven't impressed me too much. I know that a lot of people are saying they are a team that kind of flew under the radar and they can win this whole thing. And I don't know. I just don't see it. They had a great game versus Cleveland State, but also it's Cleveland
State.
So.
And you know what, too? Everyone had Ohio State. Everyone had Illinois. No one knows anything. Okay, I think
exactly.
I'm with you, man. But I'll be honest.
I like the way Rutgers looked a lot versus Clemson. I told you, Dan, before that I thought whoever won Rutgers Clemson was going to come out and beat Houston.
Yeah, to be honest with you,
no matter who it was.
Dill,
I agree with you.
Same thought.
I did the same thing in my bracket as well. I did the same exact thing.
So, Dill, I'm going to ask you, one more time, who are you taking in the Syracuse game? We do have a caller calling in right now, so give your pick real quick, and then we'll say our goodbye.
I'm still going to lock in with West Virginia.
Absolutely, lock it in. All right, Dill, we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Peace, Dill.
Hello, you're on the pick vault.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
and Syracuse is having a nice game right now.
Oh,
Krimsky's back.
King Creamy.
So
We're back
I'm
to
going to
business.
I'm going to give you the floor because you've been a caller multiple times now. So I'm going to give you the floor here. Obviously, you're a big Cuse guy. They jump out. They have a lead currently in the second half. What are your thoughts? Kind of break down the game. I know you give your little Krimsky breakdown. Let's hear it.
I mean, okay, well, first half, I think the story there has got to be the defense. They had West Virginia had 10 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah.
Crazy defense. We didn't capitalize as much as we probably should have, but at least we got out to a 14, 15 point lead at one point.
Yes.
So definitely a good first half. They've been, whoever 22 is on West Virginia, he's been making his shots.
McNeil,
yeah.
He's kept them in the game.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's kept them in the game. So we'll see what happens, but at least it's been back and forth. It's a good game.
No, definitely Krimsky. I'll be completely honest with you. This is going to sound so weird, but when you talk about teams right there, you even just talked about McNeil, you got me pumped about West Virginia. There's something about just the way you go about it, man. It gets me going for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Well, I appreciate that.
The energy is there. I can't imagine if we had to spit the Dolphins. Live though. Live.
Always a good time talking to you guys.
Oh, I'm sure. It's always a good time you calling, man. So you lock it in. Syracuse is good tonight. They're fine. Not worried at all.
I'm worried, but that's just because I'm a fan.
Dan, I feel like we'd be lying if we said we weren't worried.
I'm worried.
Well, 6-point lead
6 point
with the
6
ball.
point.
Yeah, you can't. All right, here's my
we
thing,
have the
though.
ball
To win the game,
You should win.
right?
Right?
If I said to you before the game, if I said, hey, Syracuse fans, right, with 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go, you're going to have a 6-point lead and the ball.
Exactly.
And you would say to me, you're nuts, first off. And second off, we'd be very happy in that scenario. And you got it right here. You got to hold on. And I think I like your chances. I will say, even though I think West Virginia is a quick team, they play fast. What I will say is I like Syracuse's chances. They don't turn the ball over.
Bobby!
Now you're not worried.
For three!
Nah, you know what though? It's
They
gonna
make
change.
their open shots.
It's
That's
gonna-
what I was gonna say. They run. They play very good defense. They don't do any stupid turnovers, and they make their shots, which is what you need to do down the stretch to win ball games.
Yes.
And that's what they're doing.
Yep, and I mean a guy like Robert Braswell, we talked about it. We love him when he comes off the bench. He's been good for the Qs. He needs more minutes. I mean, he's playing big minutes now.
I mean,
Dolezaj,
talk about-
great defense.
Yo, there's that
That's
run,
out.
by the
That's
way,
going down.
Syracuse. they
Talking
don't-
about
yeah.
surprises, Joe Girard. Joe
Yeah,
Girard
Joe
was
Girard's
having
been
a
lighting it up.
today.
The hype
I
star.
mean, Dan was talking about
Dude,
it. I mean,
you
can ask him, Krimsky.
I
We
shit
talk
on him
about
all
it
the
in
time.
in our Lambda chat. Krimsky was a part of my fraternity.
Hey now.
We have a group me where we talk about bets and stuff that we all like, and we all shit on Joe Girard every single time a Q's game's on. We talk about it because he's the worst ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
and he's been sick today. I mean, I know Frank. Obviously, I'm sure him and his boys talk about it in their chats too.
Yeah.
But because
We
I mean,
do.
you guys even watch Q's basketball. You see Joe Girard.
Oh, dude.
Matt,
All,
Dan.
all,
you guys
all,
know he
Of
stinks.
course.
all I needed to know is that he was the best shooting high school player in New York. That's all I needed to know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Quincy!
A double-digit lead as we head down the stretch here. It's going to get interesting.
Oh, Crimson, you nervous
Okay.
yet? You're not even a little
see,
bit.
So here's the thing. You guys are like 3
Just it
seconds
now.
ahead of me.
Oh, God, that's no bueno.
So yeah, so I'm gonna go.
All right,
Sorry, fair
yeah,
enough,
call
fair
us
enough,
after.
fair
Call us after.
The over the points.
I'll call you after.
Wait,
Yeah, I'll call you
I
after,
think
but
Buddy
go
just. I
Q's.
think Buddy just broke his leg.
Hey,
No,
come
I'm
on
kidding,
now.
I'm kidding,
Hey
I'm kidding,
now.
I'm
All
kidding.
right, I'll
Knock
call
on
you
wood.
guys after.
All right,
All
I'll see
right,
you.
Quincy,
All right,
call us a
peace.
little later.
Appreciate you calling in.
So again, a great caller. He's
I love
called in
him.
multiple times.
I love him.
What I will say, I mean, those are the kind of callers we need to get on. So if you have your thoughts, obviously hop on, jump in the chat. I got it. You're good.
I don't know if you guys caught that. We almost made a brutal mistake. Kadari passed it into Merrick, who was out of bounds as well, and he stepped in barely, and the West Virginia bench went nuts, thinking he was still out of bounds.
There's
Are we
only
not up 11? No, we're down.
No, they hit 2 layups in a row.
With 1 minute remaining, it's
They
going to
hit a
get
layup and
interesting.
then they stole the ball from us. Kadari, ice.
Bang.
Kadari, ice.
His mid-range.
That's what happens when you play in Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
Once Kadari extends that range.
Kadari's a Brooklyn boy. That's
And
why.
Andy is
such-
out of
such
his
good ball
mind.
handler.
No,
Three
I love the
ball
Brooklyn
up.
Nets. Matt
And
Taylor
his
knows what
air
I'm
ball.
talking about.
Oh, I know
Anyone that knows
exactly.
us.
Here's
There
a-
he is. And the
Neil
response,
Bang!
the response is there.
Always.
A 3-ball
Always.
and a 30-second timeout for Q's. I believe actually no, 30-second
Maybe
timeout.
West Virginia, honestly. I
They
think.
called the timeout. Yes, West Virginia timeout. So again, they're in this ball game. 7-point lead for Syracuse. West Virginia is here and here to stay, possibly with, like we said, 58 seconds remaining.
I thought someone just came in the door, to be completely honest with you.
That would have been sick if it was Karen.
Andy's in love with Karen.
No,
It's just the old Schwins.
yeah. Oh, what's Schwind's doing over there?
Trying to get cozy.
He's He's like, why is everyone
If
looking
you
at
guys
me?
don't know Duke, he's the boy. We need to bring back the Duke challenge.
He's been
we'll
on
get it
stream.
back.
He's been on
When it
stream
gets a little
When
warmer
it gets
out?
warmer, it was tough in the winter because
You got to do something maybe with like throwing the ball. Like, yeah, I know you've been going
Oh,
to the park with him.
definitely. When it's warm, it's interesting. You know, he has a good time for sure.
Maybe an over under on how long it takes him to get the ball and
I
get
don't
back
know.
to you.
You got
every day?
I've raced him before. I mean, that's
Yeah, or it could be Duke versus the pickball crew.
Dick,
We can all race him.
Duke versus the field. What up?
I can't beat him out. Oh, wait. What?
Yeah, that's what they were complaining
They
about.
called that out of bounds?
No. That's what West Virginia.
Whenever it
was, like,
does that
freaking
screen,
out.
I think
So
it's
we
like
turn-
just like
we turn
actually
that
like
over,
frozen.
No, that was
Like,
that's
on
what
not
was earlier.
this,
That's what I
on
was
this.
saying to you guys. I said I don't know if you guys saw.
Yeah, no, that was
Um,
definitely not an issue. But
so,
I will
two,
say,
three,
Duke
four.
did wake me up this morning with a couple kisses. It was about 7:00.
Oh.
And I was incredibly
Whoa.
disoriented. But
Whoa.
probably the best way to wake up. Such a good.
Yeah,
boy.
no, he got me at 7:45 the other morning on the couch after we watched Syracuse's W. We might have to hit Sojuba after this.
Dude, it is
You know,
popping
little
over there.
Sergi Bob.
It
So
is
a six,
popping.
like we said here, down
Oh,
the stretch, and a
turnover.
turnover, and that's the one thing I said. I'm going to go on air here, and I said this the other day. Down the stretch, you can't turn the ball over, you can't miss free throws, and that's why Boeheim looks pissed. It's a 2-possession game, and a dumb turnover. Was that Buddy?
No, that was
No,
Dolezaj.
that was Dolezaj.
So a turnover here, and obviously Boeheim's pissed, but
Yeah,
now the
turnover-
door's open. 6-point game.
Turnover is basically why Illinois lost.
Houston
there.
Rutgers got started too, just to throw
Yeah,
that out there.
we'll hop on that after this one ends. 45 to go here. West Virginia takes it to the rim, and they score. 4-point game, 41 seconds remaining. Again,
This is going to get sweaty, Frank.
Oh, it is. It's going to be interesting. Do you foul right away here? You got it, right?
Joe Girard.
Joe Girard is like a 90% free throw shooter.
Yeah, he was.
They
yeah.
had one to give. though,
He's
so-
also like 4 for 4 today from three. He's due to slip up somewhere. Nah, I hope.
Maybe.
I'm messing.
He,
around.
he is a very. No,
I
like,
do know he has a wet stroke. I saw
Yep.
the other day when you said it. He does have a nice stroke. I'll
Definitely
give
a
it to him.
down tick.
It's close to like 90%.
Yeah, definitely in terms of a free throw percentage.
That's
Definitely a little
impressive.
bit of a
That
down
is
tick
impressive.
This year, but I'm
I would
pretty
be
sure he
nervous if
shot
Buddy
like-
got to the line low key.
I'm
Really?
pretty sure that JG3 shot like 90.
7.
Buddy isn't that good on the
94% his first year and somewhere around 80.
I don't think Buddy's like crazy good. Dan.
Right, like
Again, a good
for what I think he is.
From what you would think
Yeah.
for like a guy that shoots the three ball like
that.
he does.
Right.
Like I think he shoots like maybe low 80s, high 70s.
Andy, you and I were talking about this before. A perfect example of that is Joe Harris.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day on Joe Harris in the net. Joe Harris is like the highest 3-point percentage in the NBA, or at least was like a year ago.
He got
48%. He might even be higher now because he's playing with the
And
studs.
this year he stroked.
And to be honest, too, he got paid a fat amount of money. And at first, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Nah, he's sick.
is it where he's sick? He's sick.
If you were a Nets fan, like personally I am, I know Frank is too. So I watch a lot of their games. I used to watch him when he was with D'Angelo Russell and Dinwiddie and Jared Allen and all those guys, LeVert. And he was a key piece.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
the reason
no,
that
100%.
He was sick, so that he earned the bag.
Was he supposed to be in the 3-point contest, or did he just say he didn't want to do it?
I
this
just
year?
think that he just like chose not to be a part of
Yeah.
anything. Like
No,
I
I
don't
know
know.
what you mean.
He was
So-
last year.
Yeah, no, well, he won it. When everyone was
it,
like,
yeah.
the 1 year is like, who is this guy? And I'm not saying, listen, at the end of the day, Steph Curry was beating whoever he went up against, but
He
he'd
was a
still be-
Virginia Tony Bennett guy.
He'd
About
still
to
be
say
he'd still be a
Virginia
guy.
So Dill, if you're in the chat here, throw in, or anyone out there really, throw in the chat who you think is going to win this West Virginia game. I know Dill, when you were in before on the call, you stated, you were all over West Virginia making the comeback and clawing their way all the way back. But right now, 4-point game, 40 seconds remaining. It's going to get sweaty, as Andy mentioned. Syracuse basketball. Let's see what happens. Syracuse throws the ball in.
That was almost a
terrible pass.
disaster.
And
So
yeah,
if you,
to Robert Braswell.
you got to get it over.
Get it
Yeah,
up.
Why did he call timeout?
another
Oh.
timeout.
They threw
Oh,
it.
yeah, wow. Yeah, I guess they have no timeouts left after that, though.
So
But if you
Syracuse now
sorry.
has no timeouts, like you said, Andy.
No, I was going to say, if you call timeout, does that reset the 10 seconds in college ball?
Yes.
I think
So you
they-
get 10 more seconds, basically?
Yes, but the shot clock does not reset.
do they,
Yes, yeah.
do they advance in college? The
No.
timeout in the backcourt? No, right?
No.
So they have to inbound.
They're gonna-
what was that
Under-
inbound though? What was that? They almost threw it out of bounds. To be honest with you,
Now you got a trap immediately.
I mean, it was two guys who, just Robert Braswell and Quincy Guerrier. Guerrier is not a great 3-point shooter, and Braswell, a guy off the bench. Where is Joe Girard? Where is Buddy Boeheim?
Those are the
Why-
guys that should be running to the ball.
Why are they not the guys catching the ball? I mean, again, maybe that was something that they drew up or whatever, but I mean, that was a very suspect inbound pass, and again, obviously they were able to get it in, and Marek able to have the diligence to call a timeout there. I think they had about 2 seconds to get it across the midcourt line before it was a turnover, but didn't seem well drawn up. I mean, I still have confidence. I mean, we also shoot well from the free throw line. I'm pretty sure we're the second best shooting team in the ACC from the line at about 78%.
You guys
But I
see
was
that
at-
Desmond Bain
Did it-
tweet on the TV?
Wow.
Happens
Is it-
every year. Syracuse sneaks their way into the tournament and gets to the Sweet 16.
To be-
At least in all capitals, ...
To be honest, though, out of all teams I would want to not be up against in this situation, it's probably West Virginia because this is like what they're like full.
Oh,
I agree.
Like,
I mean, the spread,
it's terrifying.
which is what the Pickball had. Pickball had +4. Looks to be pretty safe, I want to say. But
Don't foul, don't foul, don't foul, don't foul, don't foul. That's a jump. That's a jump.
it's Syracuse.
That's a jump
possession.
ball. It's still they're doing unbelievable. I mean, they forced 2 timeouts and then a jump ball.
And again, like we were talking about before, that was the same exact pass with Braswell getting it in that deep corner. Like, what are we doing? Like, where are the guards?
And I
How is
will
there no
say,
play though?
Make them foul. I mean,
to
why-
be honest with you, though, I blame Boeheim there, Jim Boeheim.
Yeah.
Because how do you, if you waste a timeout, which obviously wasn't Boeheim's choice, you had to do it. so you waste the timeout. You have
And
to
do that.
You have to draw in a play.
knowing
that
you don't
makes
have
a better-
another one.
I mean, you
I don't
gotta
know
come
why
out
he
with
didn't have
something.
Kadari Richmond in the game.
Dude,
Dude,
gotta
to be
come
honest,
out with
I would have rather
something.
see him like chuck it down the court.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do? Run the same exact play? That's exactly what happened. And instead of
Oh my
turning it
God.
over, I guess in a way we're fortunate to the point where they
He almost like pulled up.
were fortunate in a way that we didn't turn it
But
over.
he gets the ball.
obviously, But
Wow.
Matt, this
So-
is for your prop question from us.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
absolutely.
This is 22. And
Is it
down to
actually?
the line for 2. Matt asked me and Frank if Buddy Boeheim would have, what was it, over 23 and a half, 24 and a half?
24 and a half. I said.
24 and a
I
half.
said
He's
he-
at 22
I-
right now.
I said he had to have over to. He had to go over to win.
and again, he asked us this
before the
as
game.
as the
Yeah,
ball
this
was
was-
in the air with Buddy Boeheim hitting this first
hitting
three.
the when it
for
went
their
3-0
first bucket of the
Syracuse.
game.
Yeah.
Again, obviously we both take it. He didn't score the rest of the first half, but
So it's your fault. Wait, 88%. He's decent. He's decent.
I thought he was worse on.
No, I think honestly that said this season though.
Dan
So
out
who-
here trying to jinx it like that.
Dan wants to see West Virginia. He's on Matt's side here.
No, listen. Syracuse wins. Just cover the 7.5. Everyone's happy.
That is.
That's
Oh, that is. I
big.
forgot about that. Wow.
Syracuse will
That's
be
in
up
question.
6 with
We need to
21
score for
seconds to
sure.
go.
So here comes West Virginia.
A McNeil
19
special?
seconds. Now down to 15
Take it,
seconds.
take it.
Takes it to the rim and we'll score. That's
Fine.
huge.
Right, let him take
I don't know
Now
why
a
Syracuse just
2-point
let them
game.
do that because they know they're struggling in bounding the ball.
The problem. Yeah. What problem is
4
West Virginia
points.
calls a timeout and it, like we can't. Not that we can't run the sideline, but like
You gotta do one of
it's
those.
harder. It's harder to get it in when the defense is set.
And right, they're going to set up a scheme and draw something up again if Jim Boeheim doesn't bring the guards forward and give them the ball as it's a clear trap and foul situation. We'd have problems. But again, I think that should be pretty obvious that you should get your best free throw shooters to the ball.
And also, I just love how this like past even I don't know what is it, like 54 seconds. It felt like a lifetime to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So again, this game's coming down to the wire.
I think Houston's up like 5-1. I saw the last time I checked. I mean, it's so early in that game, but off to a start. What would that spread? 8?
But
8
I mean,
points, correct.
Oh.
So anyway, here we, like we said, let me just give the quick
No,
update
you're-
here.
you're fine.
74-70, 13.9 remaining here in the second half, as we mentioned. And then they now changed the clock to 14 seconds. So my question your way, Andy,
Yeah.
if you're West Virginia, you foul immediately right now, or do you go for a trap, especially after you've seen how successful it's been?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely try to trap and scrap for the ball, obviously, because it's been working, and see what you can do. Yeah, see, and
that's right.
You
That's
have
the best guy to get it to.
you
I
have
guess.
you have the possession arrow too.
Right.
So
I'd
you-
say, you got to try and go for a trap, like Andy
You're
said.
fine.
But again, there's
worst case scenario,
They're gonna-
you grab his arm.
They're going to do the same thing again.
right.
Yeah, and then you make him make his free throws. Obviously, he's a 90% whatever kind of shooter Joe Girard is. Very high percentage. I don't know the exact number.
Jinxed it.
Whatever. I don't care. We're gonna be fine.
Jinxed it.
No, but again, a note as well is that there's only 12.4 seconds left on the clock now. I mean, a trap to get the jump ball is about 3 seconds again. So, I mean, you want to be aggressive.
Free throw up, free throw missed.
He's
There it is.
78%
And here we
it said
go.
this year. So
You gotta shoot
last
it.
year
You
he was
gotta shoot it.
crazy
You gotta
good.
shoot it.
So
You gotta shoot it. You gotta shoot it. They score now with 4.3 remaining. It's a 2-point game. West Virginia is not done.
Bubby Huggy. Uh-oh. Joe.
West Virginia's here and here to stay.
They're here to play the game.
Right. And here again, I guess going back to that same question, like I was talking about, they did foul right away. You want to obviously get the jump ball with the possession arrow in West Virginia's favor. Joe Girard missing the front end, Matt. We've talked about that before. You have to hit the front end. You're not even giving yourself a chance to hit that back end. And again, a good free throw shooter. I think he shot 94% from the line last year and a major dip at 78% this year. But I mean, it's one of the things that has to be had. But I mean, Virginia Tech has to foul right away. I mean, 4.5 left. I mean, they're going to have to foul with hopefully a second or less coming off the clock, and it becomes a game of they need to hit.
Well, we're going to find out.
I agree. Like we said, 4.5 remaining, and I agree with everything you say. The problem is when you, like you said, you miss the free throw, you miss the front end of a 1-and-1. That's huge. And then on top of it, I said to you earlier, you can't turn the ball over. And 2 possessions ago, they turned it over. And then they wasted both their timeouts, which I think is big down the stretch in the game. Obviously,
right here
now no one has timeouts. I didn't like again, I go back and forth. That timeout right there is an interesting one. I don't know if I use it. Some people would say
It's
a good
also
timeout
1-1 again too.
with Huggins calling a timeout with 4.5 seconds after the score. I don't know.
Oh, it is.
So they're gonna have to foul. They have one more foul, and it's gonna be 1-1, which is
Here we
interesting
go.
again. So here we go. 4.5. They
Kick ball.
Kick.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a kick. Yeah.
Kick ball. That's big.
Some time comes off the clock though too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1.3 comes off the clock. Now
But he's
3.1
screaming.
left.
He's screaming like that. He knew he did it. Like it wasn't. I mean, come on.
That was blatant.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect that to not be a kick ball?
Low key, I kind of like how he got his hand down. there.
yeah, I did too.
That's a
And
Foul.
it's,
That's a foul.
that's not. I know it's bad for. Oh,
No,
He's fine.
he's resting. I mean, that was
trust me.
impressive.
When you grow up
Wait,
in a
you
house
know-
with Jim Boeheim, you could take a hit.
Oh my god.
I wonder,
Hey now. Hey now.
Hey
you know,
now.
I'll wonder if they put any time on the clock.
But-
Obviously, the ball was touched.
You know what's crazy about that? I
That was
almost
a
would
foul.
rather just see
No,
like not
no,
even
it
a
was a
foul.
foul.
Like
I
that
mean,
was nuts.
In terms of adding any more,
That was
time on
like
the clock.
Buddy Boeheim looked like a wide receiver right there, and there was a cornerback going up for the ball.
He caught it too though.
Yeah, it was sick. That's what I'm saying. Don't even call the foul. Let it
Maybe he
go
played
on.
football Pee Wee back in the day. I don't even know.
Oh, hope he wasn't driving to practice. Boeheim wasn't driving
Hey,
him to
hey, hey,
practice.
hey, hey, hey. Here's for the 24.5, Matt, right here.
And it's up, and it's good.
I told you. I said
Buddy,
over the win.
buddy.
Over the win.
This is it.
This was the exact score that
I would've-
football
I'll-
predicted
I'll-
too, 75-72,
Two.
but it had West Virginia winning.
That's
That's insane.
play.
The
I wanna
artificial
say it.
intelligence. The artificial
There it is.
intelligence. They don't. Oh, what happened? Oh,
Did they foul him?
They
No
fouled.
way. Well, I mean, it'll be 2, but
It's 1-1.
I mean, at most 2. But I mean,
He might have
Well,
traveled. He might have traveled.
just
No, I think
Yeah, he traveled. He
Definitely.
traveled. It was a travel.
that'll be it.
Let's go. That'll be
Frank and Andy,
it.
you're dancing.
That'll be it. The Qs are
Let's
dancing.
go, baby.
And wow, again, the pick fault, like Andy said, the score projection wrong, but the pick's right. The score projection's right there, 75-72 in the pick fault play with Syracuse +4. And so, you know, if you did go with the pick fault today in this ball game, you're correct. You're going to win some money, and you're going to not really sweat it out because you get the 4 points and you win the game by 3, a 7-point win technically for the pick fault. Huge, and huge for you guys. Syracuse moves on and is now going to play the winner of Rutgers versus Houston, which will now go on right now. So obviously it's going to pop over to it right now. It said after this. And so speaking of, Loyola Chicago gets in earlier today, and now we're going to see Oregon State and Oklahoma State play later. Who do you guys got in that one? I know we didn't really, talk about it that much, but who do you got in that one? And then can you toss me that one remote right there?
I think.
Dan, you go for it.
I honestly, as much as I want to say Oregon State might have the potential to cover the spread, which I think is about 6 right now, I just think that Cade Cunningham probably having a bad game last time. He's got to ball out. He really has no choice. And I think everyone wants the matchup of Cade Cunningham versus Loyola Chicago. And obviously we saw what Loyola Chicago could do to an Illinois team that, in my opinion, has probably way more talent than Oklahoma State because they ride and die off of Cade Cunningham. Yeah, they win games sometimes without him, but he's the X factor. So I think Oklahoma State gets it done. I think it'll be an interesting game. I haven't seen much of Oregon State. I know who they beat the first round?
They beat Tennessee and they smoked them.
But but my problem, I'll tell you right now, my problem with Tennessee, absolutely.
SEC, that's why I think Florida's a fraud team tonight, and Oral Roberts might pull the upset.
But if
I have them on
Sal
the points for sure.
Volcano. I mean, he looks smack like Sal from Impractical Jokers.
Is that the head coach? Is it the head coach?
That's head coach
Yes.
Chris Beard for Texas Tech. Ooh.
He does. That's a good comparison, however.
So,
Oh my!
What?
Hey now.
what?
The Q's spread and my parlay came rolling in. So
Love it.
big change in the day because we were off to a bad start college.
So
basketball.
for anyone out there that's in currently, we're looking for live callers right now. Again, I'll throw the number. Andy, can you throw the number in the chat? I'm just.
I did already before.
Okay.
It's the last message there. So
Perfect.
See, that's weird. I
It's
can't
not coming
see
up
it.
for me.
And it doesn't come up for
you
me.
guys. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, like I write in there and it doesn't come up. I don't know why. Because remember when people always ask and then I do it, I'm like, I can see it. I don't know why. No one
So
else can
just
see
for
it.
everyone out there, if you want to call in, the number is 1-800-387-6355. One more time, 1-800-387-6355. You can call in right now. and we're looking for live callers. Like we said, we just watched Cuse get the win over West Virginia. Pick Vault now goes to 3-0 on the day, which is huge. 3-0 on the day in spread plays. And so now we're watching, like I said, Arkansas and Texas.
This one's going to come down to the wire.
Dan, kind of talk about what your thoughts are for Texas Tech and Arkansas.
For the most part, I know Arkansas is, again, SEC team. Are they a fraud? I don't know yet. I mean, we're going to find out right here, but I think Texas Tech does have a good team. I know they got Mac McClung from Georgetown last season. But yeah, I think that's like their X factor. I think they got him to, win the big game. I'm not saying that he's a stud like a Cade Cunningham, or I don't even want to say Ayu Desamu, because he single-handedly lost them the game today with just the amount of turnovers he had. And it wasn't even how many he had. It was more about like when they happened. So I think Texas Tech, it's going to come down to the wire. I could totally see a buzzer beater happening. Again, the spread's 2, Arkansas +2. I think they lose by 1. So I'm on Texas Tech, probably money line.
Yeah, I agree. I like Texas Tech before the game started. And so huge that they come out to play a little bit. Arkansas, I'm talking about, because I thought there was a chance when Texas Tech started this game that it was going to go to a rout real quick. They started out the game, I think it was like 7-2 or 7-3 early in the game. But again, Arkansas responded pretty good and is here to stay in that ball game as well. So what is it? So who would you rather play? I guess that's the question. I'll go to you, Andy. For the sake of Syracuse, as a Syracuse fan, we're watching now Rutgers and Houston, 14-7 so far, as Houston jumps out to the 14-7 lead over Rutgers. Who would you rather play in this one if you're a Cuse fan?
I mean, after seeing Syracuse being able to beat West Virginia tonight, I'm confident to beat either of these teams, honestly. I think I'd rather see Rutgers. I mean, we played them this year and actually lost to them by 10.
Probably even better, though. But you lost.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're a different team than we were earlier this year.
Agreed.
So I think that we're much better, much improved. Buddy's identified himself as the best player. Everyone knows their roles. We have a little bit of a rotation going. And I just think we're on a roll. We're the teams get hot at the right time. You always talk about that, Matty. Playoff time kind of. We talked about that a lot during the NFL playoff kind of time when we were thrown out our Super Bowl package, stuff like that. And I think Syracuse has gotten hot at the right time at the end of the season.
So I got one for you. If they did play Rutgers, what would you open that line at?
I would say Rutgers is probably the slight favorite, but other people.
You think so?
Other people might see it differently because Syracuse has upset 2 very, very good teams.
I guess this could be a good win.
Clemson
I guess
is very, very good.
Fair.
I would say they're good, but they're not like West Virginia or San Diego State level.
Definitely.
And Syracuse beat them. I mean, they basically led from wire to wire against West Virginia, and San Diego State the same thing, and they crushed them.
What about Houston?
I think Houston and them would be a very good matchup. I think it'd be a similar game to the West Virginia game and what you saw in the second half when it was tight back and forth kind of action. Not what you saw the first half. I think you would see that for a full 40 minutes, not just 20 minutes.
Definitely. I mean, I'm excited to see the next matchup. I think Rutgers is going to hang around. I feel like they're always a team that play with a lot of heart. They play with a lot of dignity and pride. And, we love those kind of teams.
A little dig, a little pride.
A little dig, a little pride, and that's all you need.
Again, here's an interesting thing. We're talking about the 2 seeds. Has there been a 2 seed that has won yet? That's my question.
Iowa.
Bama, too.
They play tomorrow.
Bama in the Sweet 16.
No, they haven't played yet. Oh, I thought.
And Bama plays Maryland. I actually have Maryland beating Bama in the bracket that I have.
So we've lost. I mean, if you really break it down, and I know we're touching on it a lot. Grab a bucket and mom and buddies on the floor because he.
Read that out loud, please.
Expert analysis. That's Ari Gilbert.
So we get Ari Gilbert. He says, expert analysis. Grab a bucket and a mop when Buddy is on the floor because he's more wet than Cardi B. Oh my gosh.
Ari Gilbert, you're a sick fuck, dude. What the hell are you doing out in California talking about Megan Thee Stallion like that and Cardi B?
I love it, though.
We love the energy.
I do love it. Maybe play the song. No, I don't think you should do that.
So again, going now to this game here with Arkansas and Texas. Excuse me, Arkansas and Texas Tech. I keep saying Texas. Do you think that Arkansas has? Because I keep going back and forth with it. I'm freaking out because.
Do you want? I have a question. You want to take somebody right now?
Well, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I really think.
I like Arkansas.
If you're gonna take Texas Tech, you do it now because you probably get some points.
Moody.
Now do it.
Now Arkansas is gonna score Texas Tech's fraud. I told you that earlier.
Ride the baby.
Ride the hot hand, Matt.
Let's see.
I wouldn't say take Arkansas points or anything right now, but I would absolutely look a defensive stop. Is this Jorge Posada? Jorge Posada?
Nuts. Brilliant.
So we're seeing if we got a caller here.
Yep.
And so
It could be a good thing if this caller doesn't pick up the phone.
So again, Arkansas 7-point lead now, and the 3 seed is starting.
There goes that man.
Can you guys not see my messages?
I
No,
can't
that's
see.
what I'm saying.
I
I
can't
don't
see
think-
yours. I
I
can't.
don't know.
You guys can't see mine. I type.
You're logged in. That's very weird.
And I'm logged in too. Yeah, it says
Let me-
Andrew Nolan.
Here, I'll real quick throw.
Yeah, type
the
something in.
number
Let's see if I can see what
again.
you said.
You guys didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I've typed it in twice.
Ari, where are you where is he in
Jay
California?
Petrillo is in the
Law
chat.
School.
Oh,
Jay Petrillo's in the chat. He says, "Big
Yeah.
win, Cuse."
Mr. P, we're going to talk a little Rutgers basketball. We're watching
Yeah.
right now. If you want to give us a call and talk about the game,
chime in.
maybe at halftime, we'd love to hear your thoughts about the game, what adjustments they need in the second half to either continue leading the game or what they need to do to come back and take the lead and advance to the Sweet 16. We'd love to see that Q's RU matchup.
That would. I mean, that I can't imagine the Petrillo household for that one.
Yeah, your message didn't pop up.
And that didn't come up. That's very odd. Again,
When the Pickfault speaks, it comes up for me. Like when you speak.
Let me write it in again. I'm sorry for a little bit of technical difficulties, but again, bear with us a little bit. But the phone number again for any caller. Hold on, let's see what I got here. It's 1-800-387-6355, and I want to make sure this goes through for everyone out there. Okay, the number goes through right there. So the number for everyone out there is 1-800-387-6355. One more time, 1-800-387-6355. We're talking Texas Tech, Arkansas. We're talking Houston, Rutgers. We're definitely talking all the upsets throughout the tournament. I mean, we've seen, like we said, Purdue go down, Texas go down. We've seen Ohio State go down. Today, we see a number 1 seed go down.
We could see a number 2 seed go
And
down
so my question is, who's next?
Ooh, who's next? I mean, tomorrow.
I
I gotta look at
Houston could
tomorrow's
be next.
matchups. They
And-
could be next.
And so for the caller that calls in next, my question out there for the callers, and you know that's what we want to hear when you call in, is who's next? Because yes, throughout the course of March Madness, some of these top seeds are going to go away and they're going to disappear. It's just the mathematics of it. Eventually, they're going to be gone. Who is next? Who's the big upset right now? And obviously, we're in a game with Houston and Rutgers where it's going to be close down the stretch.
I mean, I think this would be really the, I guess, only upset. I mean, I'm looking at the other games.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Oral Roberts beating Florida, I guess.
I don't
You could
think
say-
they win that. I think
No, right,
I
they
think
could
the Mean
cover.
Green.
I was going to say, but to be honest with you, this Nova team, everyone's like doubting them. It gets me nervous because low-key, I think it's like an okay matchup for Nova. I know the guard play isn't like there, but one thing Nova does have is size. So as much as I want to say like North Texas, again, coming off a high, they could definitely win. I like this. I like the spread because, again, I don't trust Nova's scoring, but I think that's also like up in the air. I don't even know if I'd consider that much of an upset, though.
Absolutely. And Ari Gilberg, I'm pretty sure you're watching out there. I sent you the number. Call in. I want to hear who you got as the next big upset. I know you are a Jersey guy as well, but I know you liked Rutgers, and I want to hear if you still think they're going to win tonight based on what you're watching or who you got in the Arkansas-Texas Tech game. But give us a call, brother, right now.
So we're getting a call. Hold on one second. Let's hear. This is George. George, what's going on? You're on the Pickball currently, so welcome to the Pickball.
Hey,
You're live
Wilson.
on air.
It's
You're live-
Wilson.
You're live on YouTube. Again, we have to say that by regulations because it is being recorded. You're live on air.
Jorge!
You're on the Pickball.
What's up?
What's going on? So, hey, you know the exact same thing you just did? I need you to do it again, but I need you to throw everything onto the Houston money line.
Oh, God.
Against
Yeah, and I'm
Houston
gonna
against
yeah,
Rutgers.
and
Yes.
we're getting
And we're going to get a caller. George, you send him the old text
send me the
message.
text, all right? So again, that was George, great guy. So anyway, we got a caller here. Welcome to the Pickball.
Oh, hey there, bud.
What's going on?
Andrew Noel. Hey, let's fucking go orange there, bud, eh?
Let's go Orange.
Hey
Let's
now.
go orange, hey, bud. I don't know why you kept rooting for West Virginia. Why you? What do you think about that picture of Bob Huggins as the Grand Wizard of the KKK there, eh?
Oh,
Oh, whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa, Whoa.
I didn't take the picture there. I'm just saying, let's go orange, all right?
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
With
Fair
the
enough.
the orange comment for sure. The other comment again, none of that right now.
Go orange.
So we're sitting here, and
We can
again,
look into that later, but yeah, I'll drink to that there. Cheers.
definitely. So talking about the Q's game,
Cheers.
what went right for Q's today? I believe you're a Q's fan. What went right for Q's?
I am a Goose fan. You have that correct, sir. Joe Girard played his fucking ass off, man. He's a big game player. He played his ass off. Also, Dolezaj with those passes. Are you kidding me? He's got eyes in the back of his head. Dolezaj should be the best player in the country.
Well,
Dolezaj, baby. Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, with Dolezaj and the way Buddy's been playing down the stretch and the way Buddy's been shooting the ball, you're going to be in a lot of games, and I don't think there's going to be many teams that could really stop that. It's going to be can they compete with it? And I thought West Virginia was going to win because I thought West Virginia had the speed and had the ability on the offensive side of the ball to put up points, and they did. They put up 72 points. I didn't think Boeheim was going to be able to put up as many as he did today against that defense, and I didn't think obviously Dolezaj was going to play the game he did. They end up scoring 75 points, so the over hits again, and the pick vault's been all over the over. So Andy, kind of break down with the caller here how the over has been playing and talk about what, like you said, in comparison with this Rutgers and Houston game.
I mean, the overs have been playing well. I mean, in the Syracuse game, I mean, Shawnee, we know Syracuse can get some buckets this year. We got some ballers. I mean, you saw Buddy Boeheim out there. I know you saw Dolezaj. He's got his eyes in the back of the head. He was dropping dimes in the corner to Joe Girard. I mean, did you see those logo threes? I know you love logo dames, so.
Yeah, it's what it is. Buddy from the S, undefeated. The hero of Glens Falls, what they're calling. Yeah, the pride of Glens Falls, man.
So I got a question for you guys. I mean, we asked Andy this before. Who would you guys rather play, Rutgers or Houston?
I mean, we want Houston. I'm not afraid of anybody. We want Houston.
I like
we can
that.
Beat anybody.
I like that. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I like that a lot because
I respect that. I respect that a lot.
Because if anything, you play Rutgers. Maybe they play. Because I'll be honest with you, I think Syracuse is better than Rutgers. But I think they are better. Yeah, Rutgers is tricky, and I could definitely see a weird upset there. I'm with you. I'd rather play Houston. Make a scene in the next round.
We always play up too.
I agree. I do agree.
We play up and we play down to the teams. We have a lot of bad losses. That's why we're always in the bubble. So we always play up. So give me fucking Houston.
I like that.
Yeah, again, also the matchup with Rutgers is tricky because I know that Houston loves to run, but the strength of the Rutgers defensive team is inside with Johnson and Omarui. I mean, that's not really something that we capitalize on. Again, obviously we want to get offensive boards, and they have a lot of size at the center position. But at the end of the day, I mean, we aren't constructed as a team that likes to drive the paint. So, I mean, I think either way it's a different matchup, but it'll definitely be interesting, watching this game and sort of piecing together who we think we're going to play.
The way they do. If Houston stays shooting the way they did this game and they keep that up, and you get all those guys going, Alan Griffin, Quincy Guerrier, Joe Girard, and Buddy, of course. If you get all them shooting, it's unstoppable.
Absolutely. I mean, that was the biggest thing today. I'll be honest. At first, I was like, okay, right now you guys rely on Buddy Boeheim so much, like it's got to come to an end. And today, you guys proved to me that you have other scorers. So I feel confident in you guys. To be honest, I was never really high on the Syracuse train, but I think I'm changing a little bit.
So that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's huge we get points. I'm pretty sure I honestly feel like it's huge that we get points from like Kadari Richmond, Braswell. I mean, Edwards, I don't know if he had any points today, but he gets a few buckets every time. So even those like 2-4 point performances from them in the box score. I mean, Braswell had 7 tonight. Richmond had 4, 11 points off the bench. That's massive for us. Usually we have like 2. So having anything more than that is pretty sick.
Talk about the Syracuse women's team just won too. Syracuse women's also.
I was gonna say we got
million, baby.
They don't get talked about enough. We were even talking about the women's tournament because Matt actually went to High Point and they had to play UConn today. So
we play UConn next. I think.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I think we were the 8-9.
Wow, I like that. Next. So Syracuse girls is legit. That's the insider info.
Quentin Hillsman is the nicest dresser in the NCAA Women's Division I basketball.
Is that the coach?
Yeah, that's our coach. He's classy as fuck.
He's got
really
class act. He has nice ass glasses. He's a bald African American man. He's so sweet. I've talked to him.
He's so sweet.
I've talked to him in classes before. He's the nicest guy ever. So great guy. Dresses very fancy for games. Always dressed to impress.
I'm pulling up a picture right now.
I'm rooting for them as much, if not more, than the men.
My girl Tiana, be fair.
Yes, that's the one. You know her.
Wait. There's no way. This coach wears sunglasses. Coaching? No way. I
Who,
like that.
Quentin?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, pull that
I'm gonna
up.
pull it up so you guys
Pull
can
that
see
up. That
there.
looks good.
I mean, he's the PFT of women's college basketball.
Coach, we're talking about the females team for Syracuse. And so wait, can you break down who are they playing next? I mean, I haven't seen
We
much.
play
practice.
UConn next.
We have UConn next.
Oh, hold
In the
on,
round of
hold on.
32.
Did High Point win?
High Point hasn't played. That game starts in 20 minutes. We can
Wow.
get it
Oh,
on.
sorry.
We have the winner of UConn versus the ladies of High Point.
Boys on the phone.
Everyone knows UConn's women's team is notoriously bad. So
Yeah, obvious. And Gino Oriema has COVID, so obviously we're gonna win because Quentin's there.
of course, absolutely.
So who do you guys have tonight? Arkansas or Texas Tech in your guys' brackets, and/or any money on if you were
I have
betting?
Arkansas. Arkansas. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, we're all riding Arkansas.
Not Arkansas. Don't say that bullshit to me. It's Arkansas.
You are right. I honestly forgot.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
It is. You are correct. A lot of us, the Pickball had +2 today, so you guys were right on with us. If you took the money line, you took the risk. But the Pickball did have Texas Tech winning by a point. But the official play was +2, so
Exactly.
we're with you guys on Arkansas.
Again, Pickfall's been all over
All right, here we go,
the
baby.
spread plays.
Arkansas, not Arkansas. Pickfall's 3-0 so far on spread plays today. Loyola Chicago, Baylor, Syracuse.
Stand up, big bowl.
Hey now.
Thank you.
Two
Hey
and
now.
3 on the over-unders as well.
And I can't believe there's still 4 more games
Or 2 and 1,
tonight.
2 and 1.
Two
technically.
and one.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
I mean, dude, I'll
So
be
here are
honest.
the plays again. I'll pull it up so you guys can see this. These were the plays from earlier in the day, and they're all out there. So again, just thank you for calling in, and obviously call us again later in the day or later in the stream. We're going to be going live throughout the course of the night. So obviously, call back later.
No, of course, yeah. We're gonna put down 60 or 70 more beers. We'll call in. It'll be great.
Perfect.
That sounds
Yeah, no,
perfect.
definitely down.
That sounds perfect. Thanks
All
for
right.
calling.
Have a good one.
Love you guys.
So there we go. Again, another good caller talking about Syracuse basketball. Syracuse moves on, playing the winner of this game right now between Rutgers and Houston. Rutgers currently trails by 4 points. Houston out to the lead, 18-14, with 6 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the first half. A lot of time to go in that game. Should get interesting down the stretch. And then we're watching right now Arkansas, as the caller just
Yes,
said.
sir. Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas is taking on Texas Tech. And again, they have the lead. Arkansas does 48-40 with 12:56 remaining in that game. So let's talk about that one. We're going to talk more about it now because that game's coming down to the wire. That game's coming down the stretch. Let's talk Arkansas, and Texas Tech.
I just want to say that they were definitely not kidding when they said they were going to down 60 to 70 beers. Knowing the people that called on Halloween, Be Fair, I know you know Be Fair as well. You met him freshman year. He, one of the last times I was with him on Halloween, he did the Wade Boggs challenge. And on his shirt, he had 33 beers counted,
Jesus.
and he was still standing and functioning as a human being. So the kid can definitely drink. So 60 is not out of the realm between him and Sean, who is his new roommate who just moved here, who was also in our fraternity. He was his big.
So basically, we're going to have to get him on a live stream and kill a 30.
Yeah, no, they're in Brighton right now. They're not very far from
Nice.
us. We can tell them to come here and drink.
Is Brighton, Connecticut?
No, Brighton.
Oh, it's Mass? So there you go.
So I
So it
believe
shows
we're-
you where I am.
I believe our stream's having a little bit. Can you guys put the volume on for 1 second? Again, I'm sorry for everyone out there. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, I believe, with the stream. So bear with us here. Is our audio matched up with our mouse?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're
But it's
good
just
to
delayed.
go. There's a little bit delayed. All right, you guys can mute it again. Sorry about that again for everyone out there that's listening live. Again, thank you for bearing with us here. Currently, like we said, we're watching these two games. Let's talk about Texas Tech, Arkansas. So Dan, I'm going to give you the floor. Kind of talk about Arkansas and Texas Tech. 48-40 down the stretch. 12 minutes to go.
Well, I guess, like I said before, I think Texas Tech, this game's long from over. The spread was 2 for a reason. It moved a lot. And yeah, I think Texas Tech, they haven't had the clutch player to really end games. But I think Mac McClung can do that. He does have the ability. And I think this Texas Tech team can make a run if they do win this one. But like everyone's been saying, Arkansas, they didn't impress me really last game, but I guess this game, they look good. Again, 12 minutes left. We saw what the deal was with Syracuse and who was Syracuse? Who's Syracuse playing? West Virginia. It seemed I had too many games on. My head's like all over the place.
Yeah,
but we saw how that was. Again, there's no lead that's safe. 9-0 run, 10-0 runs. It'll always go back and forth. And you see here, Rutgers and Houston, 18-18. That could get away in 2 seconds. Either way, Florida and Oral Roberts also started, by the way. I think we should flop these also.
You want to flop
you
them?
want to switch them?
Yeah, I think Arkansas definitely.
Just because it's
That's
coming
good, 'cause
towards this,
yeah.
just because it's coming towards on the end. But yeah, I think Texas Tech they'll make it interesting. I'm hoping at least. But again, I know Moses Moody is playing a hell of a game, and that's the difference right there. Moses Moody or Mac McClung. Moody is a kid. What was he, Andy? Was he bit? He was like player.
He's going to probably be a lottery pick if he leaves. He played with Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, and Dayron Sharp, all freshmen that came into college this year. Obviously, everyone knows who Cade Cunningham is if you watch college basketball. Oklahoma State star, who we'll see play later tonight, and the perennial #1 overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Moody will probably also be somewhere that's around the lottery as well. He was a top 100, top 10, I believe, recruit coming out of Montverde, one of the best high school basketball schools. Yeah, powerhouse that you can go to. He played with a lot of elite guys. Scotty Barnes, guy at Florida State. That's one of the best.
Another big.
prospects.
Yeah, I was gonna say another big time player. It's all
big time player. Cade Cunningham, obviously, and like I mentioned, Dayron Sharp, who was a big guy for UNC all year.
Well, who would have thought Arkansas is playing Alabama in baseball, and Arkansas is actually ranked #1
Yeah, wow, that's
in
crazy.
the country for baseball. Love to see that. Maybe we get in on that.
Just to sidetrack us, it's a little bit back
Matt,
on
if
the
you need to
basketball.
say TNT.
How could they do that to Arkansas basketball like that? Why would the baseball team play on this at the same time?
Yeah, that was a little interesting. But just again, quick to note, Florida and Oral Roberts just tipped about 3 minutes ago. We have Florida up 8-7 with 17.
10-7, I'm seeing up on the TV over
10-7, 10-7. Florida just had a.
I mean, if you liked, I'm sure the line is probably still a little ridiculous. But 10-10, there you go.
Oral Roberts hits a 3 to tie it up.
Starting off the game hot. Uh-oh. And again, like I said, Florida is one of those teams where, yeah, last game they did have Trey Man hit some big shot. Castleton down low made some big shots. I don't know if Cameron Payne's back again, or is he still out from hitting, what's his name? What's that kid's name on Tennessee? Andy Funkerson?
Oh, Fulkerson.
Fulkerson, yeah, because Cameron Payne elbowed him in the SEC game, and then he was suspended.
Payne played last.
Did he end up playing? Like he might have been suspended for the first half. I feel like we didn't really see much of him.
Remember, I said that that's like it might be a thing. Like
Yeah, it might just be that
football.
first half. Yeah, and then obviously a big game out of Castleton. He's about 6'11", kid down low, and yeah, it's going to come down to whether what kid on that team can make the biggest impact. And yeah, it's just going to come down to stud players.
I just got the update. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Dan,
you're
from
good,
ESPN.
dude.
Hello, Brooklyn, and with an exclamation point. Blake Griffin comes up with huge block on Bradley Beal shortly after entering game for Nets debut on Sunday.
Everyone probably went nuts.
Probably. I mean, it's limited capacity, 10%, but Blake Griffin on the Nets. I mean, I want to ask you guys, Matt. I know you're a big NBA guy, and I mean, are the Nets your favorite team? No, right?
You know, I always.
You don't really have a team, right?
You know, I always was a Celtics guy, to be honest with you. When I was younger, I made my parents bring me to a Celtics
Paul
game
Pierce.
when I was back in the day. I was a big Paul Pierce guy, and really a big Kevin Garnett guy. I read sometime that he wore a freaking rubber band on his arm during games. I wore a rubber band on my arm. When I was
like that.
in 6th grade.
Cut off a little circulation.
But going back to it, yeah, I've always been kind of a Celtics fan and Nets fan. When my dad, back in the day when he owned his company and was still working there, he had season tickets for the Nets when they were in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So we went to a bunch of games.
CAA.
Way back then. So, and that was when it was like Jason Kidd, Richard
Vince
Jefferson,
Carter,
Vince
and then
Carter,
Chris
Nenad
Kenyon Martin.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike Costello, Tim Durgan, or Steve Simons if you're listening about Kenyon Martin. They had a dream one time that he diddled me.
So pretty much.
Okay.
I apologize for that one.
I'm not even going to take it a step further, but I would love to know what diddly means. You're going to have to tell me what that means off air. I got to know.
We can have an off-air episode.
That's
later.
totally fine.
We're here now. We might as
Just
well do
tell me
it.
what diddly means.
What is a diddly?
I mean, I don't want to describe it on air. I mean, you can.
It doesn't matter. We had someone calling about Bob Huggins, and I don't even want to repeat what was said after that. So at this point, diddly is nothing. I want to hear it.
It's kind of like a tickle.
Yeah, a little tickle down below.
Whoa. Below. Okay, I see you, Dudley.
All right. So let's get
Speaking of Dudley, honestly, you know what's
Dudley?
I was gonna say Dudley is something. Honestly,
Where is she right now?
no.
Is she in the stream?
It's not a she. It's Dudley is actual. It's a verb.
We're
It's
live
a
on
verb.
It. We're live on it.
I understand.
We're so here we are watching.
Well, we just
Arkansas.
talked about Diddley. So
I know. I'm sorry. So we're live here watching Arkansas versus Texas Tech, 50-42. Arkansas with the lead. I'm all over. I'll be honest with you. I'm all over Texas Tech right now. I think they're a little bit of a runaway. They have plenty of time. Again, down 8 right now, and there's great value in them right now. I'm looking at it. I'm going to pull up the exact live line so that I'm not, lying here. But the live line currently in that game is plus 425. There's great value there.
What's that? How many?
In the money line, and they're also getting 7.5, which is the line I love.
Well, again, what happened last time is
In the
7.5.
I love the 7.5.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm big on
Gotta keep going
Arkansas,
up.
Matt. I was in on them early in the tournament, and all my brackets I have them going to at least the Sweet 16, if not further. I have them beating Ohio State at least twice, I believe, and then I have Ohio State winning the other 2 times. But I just think that they are a very solid team. Besides Alabama and LSU, I think they're the next best team in the SEC. I think those 3 teams are legit contenders, and the rest of the SEC is frauds. I think in the Florida game you're going to learn tonight, they're going to beat Oral Roberts, I believe, but I think it's going to be a much tighter game than people believe. Vegas thought a 9-point game. I'm seeing a 4 or 5-point game tonight, how it ends.
I like that. Who do you know who they play next in that matchup? Like who would?
This is the matchup right here. With the winner,
really?
Winner of Florida and Oral Roberts plays Arkansas, Texas Tech.
Wow. I mean, that would be it. I guess
that would be the big run for Arkansas. That's what I'm saying.
I was going to say they would beat Florida.
Tomorrow is the other half, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
tomorrow's is a good slate
Correct.
too.
It's a great
I
slate
could tell you
tomorrow.
what it is.
Florida
It was the
State
mid-
plays.
The
And then we
Midwest. This is the Midwest, yeah.
see- And we see Gonzaga.
Tomorrow, Oregon plays Iowa. Oklahoma plays Gonzaga. Abil Christian plays UCLA.
I like Apple.
Ohio plays Creighton. LSU plays Michigan.
LSU.
Colorado plays Florida State. Bama, Maryland, and to top off the night, USC and Kansas.
All I want to say is that the Florida State line I saw is -1.5 spread for Florida State, which
Yeah,
means
but
I'm
you
going to
had-
annihilate the money line on Florida State.
Against
probably.
Colorado.
Yes.
I will with you as well, Andy.
Exactly. And then there was another one too, the Kansas
I
USC
think
game.
that's a problem.
USC is actually favored against Kansas, which I don't like.
I mean,
I do think they advance, but I don't think they should be favored in.
No, I agree with that, Andy, as well. I mean, I again gave it out on the spread the wealth. I think that USC makes the Sweet 16. I think that we saw it before. I mean, there were times where Drake was in the game, but USC is just so dynamic with their big guys inside. And again, Isaiah Mobley had some foul difficulties, and it was, I think, more important that Evan did not, because I mean he played so well. Those bigs are just so dynamic and too quick, and they also have creators off the bounce. So I like USC in a majority of my brackets over Kansas.
I guess to be honest though, with USC, I just don't know with USC, I just don't know if out of all teams they couldn't match up with. Like, I understand Kansas. Don't get me wrong. I watch a lot of Kansas basketball. Even since I was younger, I just liked the whole Jayhawk thing, so it kind of stuck with me.
Rock chalk.
But I've never seen a team choke so much before in my life. They didn't look great last game. I kind of like them. I don't love that USC is coming in as a favorite. I think
I agree, Dan.
if you have Kansas in that position getting points, I might take the points because they're going to make it a game. They can match up with Mobley.
I will say that but it's McCormick, and if he gets in foul trouble, I don't think they can match up with him much more.
Would you say that they have? I guess it's tough. It's just I just feel like Kansas. That's a bad matchup for USC. Like, that's unfortunate for USC because
I agree.
I feel like it might
think
be
it's a bad matchup for both ways.
Yeah,
honestly.
definitely.
For a second round matchup, it's definitely tough, but you look at it as well. McCormick, obviously one of the better players, even in the country, again, a potential lottery pick if I'm not wrong. But I mean, the Mobleys are just so quick inside. I mean, it's interesting because I think that McCormick definitely has a little bit of weight. So I think from a true, grounded pound inside sort of strategy, I guess on offense for McCormick and Kansas, it'll be interesting for them to try and get it down low and establish there, potentially kick out. But I think the Mobleys can really make some plays through their quickness inside.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, another game I look at too, Maryland, Alabama. I mean, the only thing again with the whole Georgetown thing with Maryland is just so long. Like, I know that Bama shoots the 3, but out of all teams, Maryland is long. They're all athletic. I think that's a little bit of a tough matchup. Or Bama runs them out of the building. The -5.5, it's a little sketchy in my opinion. The -240 on the money line. It's definitely interesting. I don't know what you guys side
Well,
on Maryland, Alabama there.
We're going to pull that up right now, but it's interesting to say Rutgers has taken the lead 25-24.
Look at Paul.
And a lot of energy coming out
Headband
now.
highlights.
And so, Jay Petrillo, Mr. Petrillo is in the chat. I see him here. He says, RU takes the lead. Mr. Petrillo, we want to hear you. Call in. You got to call in. We want to hear your take here on the RU game. And right now, it's getting a little testy. Once again, the number is 1-800-387-6355. And so we're watching both Texas Tech, Arkansas, and Rutgers, Houston, 9:28 to go. And now that lead is up to 11 points for Arkansas. Andy, you looking good with that pick.
Yeah. I wrote the pick ball today. I will say +2.
Now.
I mean, I liked Arkansas before that. I did have a prop bet that was Arkansas to make the Sweet 16. It was plus money, and I liked that. And I actually took one that was Texas Tech to not make the Sweet 16. I thought they potentially could have lost in the first round. I was more so thinking that it would basically be these two teams matched up. But I thought Arkansas was going to be heavily favored, so I wasn't going to get a favorable line to bet on. And then when I saw them at +2 today and plus money at the money line, I was very happy to double down on that, honestly. And that's what I did today. And so I'm looking good right now, but obviously it's never over until literally the clock hits
You know
0.
who sings.
Yep, until that lady sings,
The old diddly.
Yeah, the old diddly, the Schmiedeladova. And Arkansas with the and one.
What a good,
56-43. I see you two laughing over there.
I love it.
Schmiedeladova.
Schmiedeladova.
Her
Is that-
last name, it's a tennis player's last name.
Of course.
Anna
That's what I was
Carolina
gonna say.
Of course.
Schmiedeladova.
Where is she? Is she a clay girl or more of a?
She's a little bit more of a clay girl. She's
I
from
like
Slovakia.
that. She likes to,
Those
okay.
Slovaks, the Europeans are the clayers.
Yes, I like that.
Baby. I'm 50%.
Why is that? Why are the Slovaks? Do they like make clay out there?
Probably, yeah. The European courts are more so dedicated, I feel like, to the clay.
I like that. They can fix that
and
stuff.
the South
too.
American too, honestly. A lot of people that are from South America, all the Argentinian players usually, Chilean, Peruvian, Brazilian, anything you could think of down there.
And Jay Petrillo, Mr. Petrillo says at half he's gonna call us, and I don't blame him. Everyone's trying to bother him. He's locked in
I
right
mean,
now.
hey, it's about
He's
to
locked
happen.
in right now.
Before you call, I'm going to use the.
I can't blame him. I can't blame him.
Miles Johnson and foul though.
Oh, they fouled.
He's going to the line.
I can't imagine what Rutgers half,
Kansas is making
first
me
half
feel
money
good.
line was.
Again, and quick note, and hopefully my dad will hop in at half, but and again, not to jinx it, but Rutgers as a whole, which Matt, I know that you don't like, Rutgers is not a good free throw shooting team, which makes it very difficult to close out games. And
No,
especially when you have guys so dominant inside like Johnson and Omarui as well. Like you would hope that those guys would be able to hit shots, and that was literally the only reason why some of us thought that Illinois was going to be able to come back, is that Kofi was hitting free throws down the stretch at kind of an unbelievable clip. I mean, it just wasn't enough. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say about the free throw shooting capacity of Rutgers.
Well, I haven't really watched, to be honest with you, I haven't watched much of Rutgers basketball throughout the course of the season. I've seen them play a few times, but free throw shooting in general, I'm pretty clear. If you're playing Division I basketball, especially at the schools that are making the tournament, you could play.
You got to hit.
And yes, there's a little bit, and there is an advantage or a significant, talents difference between maybe the top tier teams and then the teams that are, right below, like the lower tier teams, lower tier teams in the Division I.
Power 5 versus Division I.
And so if you make the tournament, you're good. The differentiating point in the tournament comes down to free throws, turnovers, and shooting. I mean, those are really the three things that decide the tournament, because all these teams that are here, they can play basketball and they're relatively equal or similar in their, playing ability. So
Well, I was gonna say, I think it's just a tough match, and like you said too, they're so evenly matched. I mean, we see all the spreads. They're 1, they're 2, they're right there, and then you have a day like today where everything's 8, 9, and we see like kind of what's going on. I just think free throws. I don't really think we've seen it yet. Obviously, last night Abilene Christian won the game off of free throws, super clutch by one kid. Was actually the worst free throw shooter on the team, and he stepped in a big spot. So Matt, I know you'd be proud of him for that for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I think it's tough for the book too to make lines. Like you see some teams that you just don't like.
And so I was like, all right, he's not going to see it.
What's up?
No, I agree.
sat down, and now you told me.
That's my bad.
Okay, so
All right, that's gonna be foul.
I can't believe there's still 20 seconds left in this half.
That'd be Mathis going to the line for 2.
He goes
Get Rutgers
38
up
years,
3.
boys.
So wait, hold on. Going back to the Rutgers, are they good at free throws or are they not?
No, they're really bad.
No, Rutgers is infamously bad. And again, I was talking mainly
Or
about
getting
the
a foul
bigs
out.
because they get a lot of opportunities and they do get a fair amount of offensive rebounds. But even the guards really don't shoot that well, which I think is so interesting. And again, a point that you make, Matt, is that, you get to this point and you are such a good player and shooter. I mean, and again, this is something my dad might emphasize when he comes on. They're free. I mean, you should be taking, if you're playing Division I, you should arguably be taking like 1,000 free throws a day.
Exactly.
I mean,
And-
it's inexcusable to be missing free throws, especially as a guard. You know
Well,
what I mean?
what I will say is, guard or not, now we're in like the positionless, especially in the NBA, positionless basketball, and I think that's slowly transitioning down with guys like Luka Garza, stepping out and shooting threes. We see him open the game yesterday, shooting
And
2 threes.
Jokic.
It's interesting, obviously, and so I think everyone should be shooting at this point. It used to be the days when Shaq, and they did Hack-a-Shaq, to be honest with you, and so. 3-ball up and no good. So Rutgers actually going to go to half with the lead, and I'll be interested to hear what your dad says about that. But Rutgers going to the half with a 30-27 lead over Houston. And so free throws. I mean, in the positionless basketball that we're talking about, everyone's got to make your free throws. It's kind of like kicking in the NFL. I always say if you're getting paid millions of dollars to kick a field goal, anything inside 40 yards should be automatic. And with Division I basketball players, you're on the free throw line. You should be making 85%, in my opinion, if you're getting a scholarship to play basketball. That's just straight up. That's my opinion.
No, I agree with that. And again, I think that a lot of it, particularly in the tournament, is that what propels guys. And you look at it, and Andy and I were talking about it.
Dan, can we turn on Oral Roberts in Florida on the Rutgers screen?
Yeah, I actually don't have the remote, though,
Hold
to
on
be
a
honest
second.
with you.
I
could look for it, though.
Hello, you're on the Pick Vault.
Hello, fellas.
What's going on, Mr. Petrillo?
How we
you
doing,
How's
Mr.
it going?
Petrillo?
What's going on, Dad?
It's locked in is one way to put it.
He's
It's been
locked in.
38 years.
I was going to say he's fully focused. Everyone's trying to bother you.
So talking about 38 years, we just were kind of discussing the field goals and free throw percentage of Rutgers and how, they're historically bad, as Frank said, historically bad at, shooting free throws. Do you think that's going to play a factor in today's game, and how much does that worry you down the stretch, especially in a tight game with a team like Houston?
Absolutely. Rutgers is going to win ugly. One of the worst, Division I foul shooting teams by far. But look at the stats. I was just handed the first half stats here by the assistant coach. Rutgers shooting 7 of 10 free throws versus 1 of 2 for Houston. Houston fouls a lot. That's their MO. They foul a lot. Rutgers is a bad free throw shooting team, but they're hitting 7 of 10. I'll take that. They're +6 on points from the foul line.
Well, that's like I said. If they can make their free throws, they're going to be a team that's going to be very hard to beat down the stretch. I know, Frank, you had a few questions here because talking about the Rutgers team in general, they've kind of become a story that I think everyone in New Jersey kind of loves, obviously, but
And he
it's
can't
slowly
even bet on
becoming a story on the national stage where Peichel turned around the organization relatively quick, and we're kind of seeing the benefits of that. As a Rutgers fan, I guess kind of just talk about what it's been like watching this team develop and obviously try to make a run 2 years ago, or really last year before COVID. And then obviously now we're seeing them in the tournament finally and obviously winning games in the tournament. And now we go in the second half with the lead. What's it been like you said, 38 years? What's it been like, to watch this run for this team?
It's been pretty incredible, and I think the way Peichel's been doing it, you think of the old days before guys were doing one and done. So you were building a program, you had guys for 4 years. Think of the old Duke teams with Christian Laettner. Now I'm not comparing this Rutgers team to Duke, but those guys were all there 4 years. The Hurleys. You think about it, Peichel's had these guys. He's molded them into the team that he wanted. They're all bit players. We don't have one star. Ron Harper could put in 20. Gio could put in 20. Miles Johnson could have a double-double. But you're going to have today, to win this game, Rutgers is going to hold them under 70, and you're going to have 4 Rutgers players plus 10 on points. Nobody's going to have more than 15, but you're going to have 4 guys plus 10 on points.
Absolutely.
So that's how he's developed this team.
No, and I think that's a great point, Mr. Petrillo. And I want to get your thoughts. I mean, as we all said, we're all New Jersey guys as well. And Paul Mulcahy, I mean, he's played a pretty important role for this team all season. He's stepped in when guys like Gio and I know Jacob Young, guys were hurt earlier this year and missed some games. And he stepped into the starting lineup. He's kind of been a starter now at the end of the year as well, been in and out. But how do you think his role has impacted this team and how he's been for the team throughout the year and in this tournament?
Yeah, I think headband highlights is definitely he's a glue guy. That's what Coach Pike calls him. He's the glue guy. He'll do everything. He's diving on the floor, breaking his nose for you.
Yep.
He's good in the locker room. He gets the guys going. He's the guy that can get you a corner 3 when you need a 3. But he's one of those guys too. When I was at the rack when Rutgers was trying to get Big Cliff to come in and commit. And they were all standing up chanting his name because Cliff was in the stands. And if Paul Mulcahy wasn't there to sort of start the way to get the Jersey guys going, we wouldn't have Big Cliff. So I think Paul is important.
Absolutely. And I mean, he's one of our friends. We went to school with him, me, Matt, and Danny. And I mean, I'm sure Frank knows a little obviously about him, having lived in the area and seeing him play before. And I agree with you fully. He's a glue guy, and he is a great guy in the locker room. He was always great on the Guild team as well. A very well-loved player by everyone on the team. So he's very important. And like you said, he's situationally, he's a high basketball IQ. He knows where to be in good spots. I mean, he hits you a corner 3 when you need it. He can get you dimes. He can get rebounds and everything. So like you said, I think he's a great player for the team, and I think he's been super important all year.
Hey, so one question we've kind of been asking when people call on, especially not talking about Rutgers, what is their ceiling? I mean, obviously they get the first win. They win in the first round. They're leading here in the second round. This is obviously a huge game. And then when they, if they were to get on, how far do you think they could realistically get this season with everything going on? Obviously upset central across the board for everyone. What's your take on what their ceiling is for this Rutgers team?
Yeah, I look at it obviously as a fan, and I'm happy they're there. And then you're happy they get that first win, so you're off the snide. So now 38 years later, we got to win. Now you're playing with having some money. So you're playing against a team that you think you have a shot. Your guys are playing good, and then certainly they shouldn't be looking ahead, but we know what's sitting ahead. Cuse and Frank, you can go ahead and tell everybody who beat Cuse already this year.
We know that Rutgers beat them, but realistically, Syracuse wasn't the team that they are now, in my opinion, Mr. Petrillo. So I think it would definitely be a great game, and I think Houston would probably be a better matchup for Cuse than Rutgers. I think we would beat both of them at this point, but I do think that would be a great game. That's the matchup I do want to see, being a Jersey guy and having grown up at Rutgers. I mean, I'm more of a Seton Hall fan, but I root for Rutgers definitely now, especially because of Paul. And just that, obviously, they're a Jersey team. So, and Seton Hall isn't in the field this year, so I'll definitely root for Paul, obviously. So,
yeah, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. We obviously got to win this game, but that would be an awesome matchup to go up against Cuse. And then Illinois is out of that bracket. That bracket now is wide open.
Yeah, I know. And I think Oklahoma State might be the team that comes out of there. I think the winner of that, I think they win tonight, Oklahoma State. They advance against Oregon State team that's been on a great run. Don't get me wrong. But I think Cade Cunningham and those guys are a little bit too much for them, and they'll figure it out. He had a bad game in the first game, and he's supposed to be the number 1 overall pick. So I think he shows out a little bit tonight. He showed up in clutch time, but overall it wasn't a great game for him, a great first showing in the tournament. So I think they show up tonight, and I think they're the favorites to win it.
So, Dad, I have a quick question before you hop off, and you can elaborate on Andy's question as well. Talk about the importance of having Miles Johnson as well as Cliff combined. Only neither of them have a foul yet. Talk about the importance of them and solidifying those bigs as an identity of the team, because I know that they've had issues going against a lot of the Big Ten teams where they have more dominant bigs. They get into foul trouble early, and that rotation has to get a little bit deeper. Again, looking at the bench, Cliff, Mathis, and McConnell have already got in, and Mathis having a great game. Talk about the importance of having their bigs stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. It's paramount. I mean, you really need you need Johnson to give you a good 25 minutes. If you can get 10 points, 10 rebounds, he's top 3 in blocks per game. I think he averages just under 3. That kind of defense is what you really need, and that's what you're playing in the Big Ten. So all of a sudden, you come into this kind of tournament. You're playing teams who have centers who are 6'9", 6'10", and you got a 6'11" and a 7-footer that are strong. That's going to work to your benefit for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think having the two of them on the floor is what makes them kind of a team that could make a little bit of a run. And obviously, like I said, I said earlier on the podcast or this live, is really I haven't seen much of Rutgers this season. Obviously, as we head down the stretch in the tournament, even the conference tournament, I started following them much more. But my question your way, after watching kind of this tournament and everything, the way it's kind of been going down, what are your thoughts on the way the Big Ten has been performing in general? Obviously, we've seen upsets across the board, but the Big Ten compared to some other conferences, what are your thoughts on the way they've matched up?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting year to sort of look at it from a conference standpoint, especially in the tournament, because you pretty much played the majority of your season against your conference. So, for example, Rutgers only had 3 out-of-conference games. The rest was the 20-game Big Ten schedule, which is brutal. So it really prepares you to get into this tournament. Pac-12 has looked good. I got to say, from the Big Ten, Maryland's looking good.
I agree.
I wouldn't sleep on Maryland.
I think just a tough matchup in general. I was going to say, too, with the whole Big Ten teams, out of all Big Ten teams left, I think no one really out there would have said, Rutgers. I mean, you got all the big dogs really out. The only Big Ten teams really left. You guys are left. Iowa's left. And Michigan's left. And Michigan, I think, might get bounced tomorrow by LSU, to be honest, also.
I agree with that, Dan, honestly. I think that's going to be a close game. I don't know if they get bounced, but it's definitely going to be. I'm not sure what the spread or anything is on that game, but I would probably be on LSU in a tight game where they might come out on top or Michigan comes out on the last second bucket.
I could tell you that in 2 seconds.
So, Mr. Petrillo, before we let you go, I will give you the floor here to kind of say your last, words about Rutgers. What is your take on the second half? As a fan and as someone watching the game, what's your, keys to victory here for Rutgers, and how do they get it done?
Yeah, I got a couple things. Like I said earlier, you want to see this game under 70. We can hold them to 70. We're going to win. You want to be +5 on rebounds, I think. Obviously, we talked about the foul shots a little bit. You want to try to limit the turnovers for sure. And my last shout out is to Coach Conley. Got to give a little shout out to Coach Terry.
Love it.
Oh my gosh, ACL Terry, great coach, and you two were a dynamic duo down the stretch in going back to the what is that? What? How old were we?
I mean, that was back when we were like 10, 12, playing in Branchburg tournaments.
Yeah.
You go to Branchburg tournaments all the way up through Babe Ruth state champions.
Did you ever get thrown out? We were trying to think about it the other day. We were talking about it. We were like, you came to the game, you were happy-go-lucky, and then once in a while, something would happen, and a little fire was lit. Did you ever get thrown out during any of our games?
I'm going to tell you, not in your games, but unfortunately, I did have an incident with a parent once, and I had to remove myself from the dugout.
I love that.
Oh, that's great.
That's good energy.
Great. So, hey, we'll let you go. I know you're going to get locked in for the second half here down the stretch. So, go RU. I'm rooting for it. I think they got it, and I agree. I think down the stretch, maybe this is the day that the free throw tides are turning. You said it before, 7 for 10 in the first half. If they could duplicate that one time and they go, 70% in the second half, I think they got a real shot at winning this game. And like you said, keep it under 70 points. Go RU.
All right, guys, you're doing great. Good show. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. All right, so that caller, here we go. We got another caller here. Welcome to the Pick Vault.
Calling in from Q's for my friend. Let's go!
Roll Q's, baby! Hey now. So we got a live caller. It seems like it's a. Oh my gosh.
Take me home,
I'll give them their
country
time.
road, and one Oral Roberts.
I think that this is
Interesting.
some of my
Interesting.
friends from Syracuse.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys are big Cuse guys. Go
Yeah, you're
Cuse.
right, Frank. How you boys doing? How's the show?
Pretty good. Pretty good. So what was the key to victory today for Cuse?
Oh, buddy, he just went off. He had it in his blood. I don't know what was going on with him today, but he was crushing it. He's been doing it for a while now.
I was gonna say, if anyone too, Joe Girard. If anyone.
There's no other. Huh?
No, I was gonna say, out of all people, Buddy Bayham's been balling out. The guy I look at today that actually showed up was Joe Girard. He started hitting 3-pointers like he was in high school again. It's about time, to be honest.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been shocking the past few games how he's been playing. Honestly, every time we see him in the game, we get a little worried, but
I was
he's
gonna
been
say,
pulling through.
I was gonna say, Andy freaks out when Joe Girard's in the starting lineup. He hates
Joe
it.
Girard fucking sucks.
I do too.
Hopefully, Joe Girard isn't in this stream.
Yeah, I think we all thought he was a little washed up, but I guess he's more of a March type of guy.
So, hey, as a Cuse fan, you guys obviously move on, as we just are mentioning, but currently Rutgers is playing Houston. You guys get the winner. Who would you rather have? Currently, Rutgers leads 30-27 at half. Which of the two would you rather have in the next round?
I think we're going to be drunk enough to play anybody next week.
You're the second person that said that.
That's what happens when you go to Q's, guys. That's a good answer.
Definitely Rutgers, though.
I don't know.
Definitely Rutgers.
I don't know. The other boys we talked to, they were all into Houston. They're not scared of anything. They said.
We're not scared of
They're
anyone.
not scared
they were
of
Q's
anything.
boys as well.
Oh, yeah. That answer then.
That works too.
I think
I guess we're on the same page.
I'll be honest with you. Syracuse has been such on a run. Like, you don't want to. If you lose to Rutgers, that looks so bad. You'd rather lose to Houston. To be honest, no one thought you'd be here. So you're in a win-win regardless. And I do think you could win the game because based off how I've seen Houston shoot, right now they don't do it. I think Rutgers is a little tricky. I know, Frank, we just had a big caller about Rutgers, and they're definitely the tricky team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we should give us the Nets, honestly. We'll take anyone.
Yeah.
I like that answer way better.
I like that.
He'll take on anybody.
No,
I think you guys. You should take on the UConn women's team.
We've got one quick question for all you guys. Just
Absolutely.
making sure that Frank still has no shoes on.
No shoes.
Let's see those feet. Shoes.
Perfect.
I'll be honest too.
Flex your feet in the
We're
camera.
driving around having a great time in Syracuse, New York.
Enjoy it, boys.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy
Thanks
it.
for the call.
Enjoy the
again.
W, boys.
Big
Have a
win
good
for
one,
Q's.
guys.
So there we go. Another caller calling in. Excuse the music. Ooh. But yeah, another caller calling in talking about Syracuse, which is interesting because, again, Syracuse has been the story of the day. I know you guys are big Syracuse guys, but they've been a story, in my opinion, of the day. Obviously, we see the number one seed go down, but I don't want to say Syracuse kind of overshadowed that game, but the way they played down the stretch was huge, and I thought I was very impressed by Cuse, to be honest with you.
I mean, I will say I agree. I think the first half was pretty interesting. Again, with Buddy Boeheim hitting the first bucket of the game and then really cooling off.
Set the tone, though.
It was pretty interesting to see the rebound, but I think that a lot of the players on the team were able to get incorporated into the game again. There were multiple points where I felt a little bit sweaty, and I'm sure Andy felt the same way.
Sure.
But, I mean, when Dolezaj picked up 4 with Jesse Edwards picking up the 4th shortly after that, I mean, even looking at an 8-man bench, I mean, that got me nervous.
We're down to 6 real quick.
Right, we're down to 6, and we don't even like playing that many, initially. But I think that Robert Braswell played a lot of really quality minutes tonight. Again, I think that he had 7 or 8 points.
7
tonight.
points.
But again, I really do like him on the defensive end, and he really lengthens out. I mean, he's a 6'7" guy with probably 6'10" wingspan. But especially when you get Jesse Edwards in, he had some foul trouble. But when he's down low in the middle, again, I think I was saying before, he allowed the zone to really stretch out. And I think that's really important. When you have a guy like Joe Girard in the lineup at 6'1", I think that, it's less length you have in the passing lanes and the driving lanes. And it's important for them to be able to have that because I think that it's really tricky for a lot of teams. And again, the more space you take away, the harder it is for them to be able to adjust and create a game plan. So I like the play today from the guys off the bench. I think that was important for us to be able to close out the win tonight.
Definitely. And so we're currently watching, like I said, this game between Texas Tech and Arkansas. Now, Arkansas had a pretty big lead. It was over 10 for a majority of the second half, to be honest with you. And like we said, now Arkansas is watch that lead disappear. And now I believe they currently trail by 1 point. Arkansas leads by 1 point with the Red Raiders going to the line for Texas Tech with 1 minute and 15 seconds. So you've held a double-digit lead if you're Arkansas, and all of a sudden the lead gets dwindled away. You can't miss free throws.
And Mac McClung misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Uh-oh, that's my
and
guy, too.
Arkansas is up 1 still with 1:07 left.
That was
20 left on the shot clock.
Oh, my God.
Well, Roberts, we're also watching on the other screen here, takes a 2-point lead against Florida with 3 minutes left. Well, Roberts was plus
It's been
9.
a good storyline, Oral Roberts. I like that. And the response here is no.
Why are you
good.
shooting a three like that?
That was deep,
I don't,
too.
I don't
Yeah,
agree with that at all.
It's not a good look.
So now under a minute, 47 seconds remaining in the ball game.
I said buzzer beater. Texas Tech win by 1.
40 seconds remaining.
Maybe
Now
Arkansas wins by 1, huh?
This is very
with
true.
a 1 point lead, pass to the brim, and it's going to be no foul call. I thought there was a lot of contact there.
Do you have Arkansas money line, Andy?
I have them plus 3, but I also have them.
No, everyone's showing.
Whoa. So I have those 2 props, and one of them, the prop is Texas Tech not to make the Sweet 16, and the other one is Arkansas to make the Sweet
So this
16.
is massive.
So
This is
basically, it's a money line battle.
Basically, it's massive.
I took the spread with the pick vault though because I do like Arkansas to win this game. Obviously, it's a crazy game. It's an ending. We might go to overtime. Who knows what might happen? But pick vault had plus 2. I bought a point up to plus 3 just in case the game-winning 3 was hit and it was a tie score, and I get the push at least still, so I'm not totally heartbroken.
Hey, listen, we don't want to break hearts here. Leave it to the women, all right?
And again, here we are. It is 67-66 with Arkansas at the line. For 2, they're in the double bonus. First goes, they're up by 2.
Like the way you said that.
JD Note?
They're in the diddly bonus.
The Shmita Ladova.
The diddly bonus.
So 68-66, 19 seconds remaining, and Arkansas has one more free throw left. And again, it's been an interesting game, back and forth.
Big runs.
But
so what do you do if you're Texas here?
Free throw no good.
He misses it.
2 point game, 19
here we
seconds.
go.
They have one timeout.
And here comes Texas Tech.
Did he just try? He tried getting that foul there, low key.
They should call a flop warning.
And here we go. Timeouts remaining.
This
They
kid wants
don't
a
look
foul
like
so
they're gonna
badly.
Use one. 5 on the clock. Here we go.
You got to give it to McClung.
5
You got him for a reason.
He's bringing to the rim, and he
misses.
Misses.
Arkansas will dribble it out. Arkansas with the W by 2. They run out the clock.
Uh-oh.
And Frank and Andy are rolling on with the Razorbacks. Get your hogs up.
So a huge win. Huge win.
Big win for Arkansas.
Wow. Look at
As
that.
the Red Raiders go down.
What a crazy ending. I mean,
But the pick vault moves to 4-0 on the day on the
Hey
spreads.
now.
So if you didn't get in on the March Madness package, you're just missing out again on free money. I mean, I've been riding with the pick vault all day
I'm going to
because
pull it up here for everyone out there.
Absolutely.
These were the plays. Again, towards the bottom here. you
take the
can see-
last 2 plays of the night. Don't be disappointed.
So here you go. Here are the plays for the day. They're all up here. They should be coming up any second now. And there it is. So look at the plays down at the bottom. We got Loyola Chicago plus 7.5. We got Baylor minus 6.5. Both hit. Then we get Syracuse plus 4. They win outright. Arkansas plus 2. They win outright. We got Houston minus 7.5. Now that one is going to be sweaty. It's going to be interesting. And Oral Roberts plus 8.5. And currently they only trail by 5 as the first half. And that one is coming.